two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody. Back with another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. Sarge, you always make fun of me that I'm loud, and I like come in, and you're like, "What the hell?" So now I come in nice and soft, and you're confused. Okay.
So it sounded like you weren't there. And I'm like, what's going on?
Generation X Gaming is a weekly podcast, goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. We're here live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. This is episode 419. If you like what we do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do live streams on this. We do a daily grind show Monday through Thursday. We do gameplay Monday, Tuesday nights. Wednesday nights, we have a segment we do with Sarge, or we do a podcast called Chatting With. This week, we had two guests. We had Drunk 3PO, and then we also had Greg Owen. So go check out those podcasts on our playlists. And then you can also listen to us or watch us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and anywhere else you can listen to podcasts. So what's going on, Sarge? How you doing? What's going on, chat?
Tired. I'm out of shape and getting back into work mode.
Hey, you've been back for a week.
It's 2 weeks now.
Is it 2 weeks? No, you went back last week was the first week.
No, it was. It's been 2 weeks, 2 work weeks.
That's impossible. I was on a podcast last Friday with Todd the Gator, and that was the first day you went back to work.
No, I went back on that following Tuesday, the Tuesday prior.
Okay. All right. Time just flies, I guess.
Yeah. Why can't I find the
lots of stuff to talk about this week? Sorry, chat. Lots of stuff to talk about this week. We got talking about Blockbuster game bubble bursting. We got talking about PlayStation.
Blockbuster's gone, dude. What do you mean Blockbuster?
Not the Blockbuster video. I didn't say Blockbuster video.
Oh,
I said
like
Blockbuster
games. Making money in games? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We're talking about Microsoft. We're talking about Sony PlayStation. We're talking about the Game Awards. Some of the rules they changed, Sarge, right before the award ceremony. We're going to talk about the Joystick Awards, the winners of that. We're going to talk about a little bit of Starfield and Netflix. What else are we talking about? We're talking about a little bit about Star Wars Outlaws, Marvel Rivals. So we might get to all these stories. We might get to a couple of these stories. But no matter what we do, we rant along the way. So let's start off with the first segment that we usually do is what we've been playing. All right, Sarge.
That shit is loud. It's almost like it's a West African tribal song going on. I don't understand what's happening.
It's like the reporters that play video games and say if it's buggy and brokey, they just kind of get used to it. I'm used to it. I'm used to the loudness. It just works now. I'm good. So another week, another round. What have you been playing? Did you play anything different or fun, or shitty and worse?
Well, I tried to play some things that actually work. So I went through my entire game list on my hard drive, or both hard drives now. And I got rid of pretty much anything I didn't touch in the last 5 months. I just got rid of it. That left me with the Wasteland series, Skyrim, Starfield, Darkest Dungeon, Dune, and a couple other things. I just got opened up the hard drive. So I was playing maybe a couple of RTSs, the ones I've been playing for like the last couple months. I'm back with my squad for Hell Let Loose, so I'm doing that twice a week. As far as new things, I went through the Game Pass list. Nothing was really calling to me. The one I keep messing with every once in a while when I'm really bored is the Auto Mechanic Simulator. Right? I mentioned this a few weeks back. Like I like to play it just because I want to know more about car engines. So like I'll pick a couple levels where it's a severe engine problem and I'm breaking down an engine trying to rebuild an engine. So I'm like learning about cars type of thing because I'm just bored. But the thing that pissed me off was my headset finally died, and
Which headset?
My headset for my Xbox.
Not that headset you're wearing. A different headset.
No, different headset. I got one for the computer, and I got one for the Xbox. So I bought a pair of A40s a while ago. Like it's been a while.
I think it's about 2 years. I think.
No, way more than 2 years.
We have no concept of time. It's about 2 years, but that's fine.
I've got the receipt and the box. That's why I'm telling you it's more than 2 years. So it was time. Like the sound was going out on one ear, and because I was touching the wire on the controller, you know how that goes. Like because the wires degrade over time, you know the deal, right? Yeah. And so I'm filling with the wire, and the left ear kept going out, and I didn't really think about it. I thought it was just like maybe me moving the wire around. So then I started realizing I was playing Hell Let Loose that I kept getting killed by somebody sneaking up on me because the fucking earpiece wasn't working. So when they were sneaking up on my left side, it wasn't making any noise.
Always blaming the tools.
Right. So I thought I was getting mad. Like for 2 weeks, I was like, what the fuck's going on? Right. Then I was playing Skyrim, and I noticed that I wasn't hearing anything out of my left ear. And I go, oh, that's why. I said, because it's not coming through the left ear anymore. And I kept fiddling with the wire. And when you fiddle with a wire after like 2 days, you're like,
it's over.
It's time. Right.
Yep. You have your soldering skills ready to go.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody else knows about the Astro A40s, but they had that little connection block that fit with the wire. It's one piece. You don't plug into that piece. That piece clicks into the controller. The other piece is an actual 3.5, and you just plug it into your headset. Right.
Right. And so you have one of these. You have one of these,
but that's attached to the A40.
This is attached to the wire, so that it's like hardwired in.
Yes.
So this is the plug that plugs into your controller.
Yeah. So the first thing I did was try to look up a replacement wire. Stupid me, right? So I looked up a replacement wire for the A40s, but according to the market, if it's over 2 years old, you can forget about it, right?
Right.
They don't have the wire. They don't have that piece. And if there is a piece for that wire, it's used. Like somebody else had the headset died, and they're just selling that wire piece. And I'm like, I can't get a used wire piece because I know exactly where I'll be in exactly 6 months from now. The clickety click noise of the wire not working. So then I go on the mission. Let's look up what the new A40s look like. Right? Let's look up another headset. So I start shopping around because I like the A40s because their earpieces are cushion. I don't like leather or pleather because my ear sweats. I hate that shit.
You start sweating,
Hate that shit, right? It doesn't breathe, right? I want over the ear, and I want cushion.
You need one of those things that we saw last week, Sarge, the thing that wraps around your chair.
Oh, please.
Yeah, $400.
I saw that, right? So I'm shopping, right? I find the A40s, the new versions now, right? And I'm looking at it. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it again, and there's the wireless version. Like, do I want the wireless version? And I'm like, all that is a battery killer. I'm sitting around on my couch or the bed anyway. It doesn't fucking matter, right? And I'm like, the wire from my headset to the controller is not an issue.
Right.
I don't care about that. If it's a wire from the headset to the controller to the box, then we got problems, and I'm not doing wire.
Yeah, like a long.
This is not right. This is not like 1990, right? Right. Yeah. So I'm looking at them, and I notice that it doesn't have that piece that goes onto the controller anymore. It's just the 3.5 or the 5-point thing, and you plug it into the controller. And I'm
it's just a regular like these.
And I'm like, so wait a minute. I was like, how can I balance between the chat and the game when I'm playing Hell Let Loose if I don't have the controls anymore? All I have is the little piece up here that goes mute or not mute.
Yeah.
Like, so how I balance out the game? Like, so I can't have that anymore? They don't have that? That was too good? That was too good? We can't have that anymore?
Sarge, I just realized, I was like, why are you so soft? I just realized I had one of these.
Oh, that makes you a genius. Yeah.
I can hear you now much better. Much better.
I'm sure you can. Yeah. Right? So now I'm looking, and there's no such thing as that piece. So now I'm like, okay. If I get the larger headset, does it come with that piece? Nope. Doesn't make it anymore. They don't make it anymore.
Of course not.
However,
because it was made too well.
However,
it needed a break in 6 months, not 12.
However, they sell it separately.
Oh, well, of course they do.
Yeah, they sell it separately, right?
Of course they do.
Of course they do. So there's a couple versions out, and it comes in this green box, and I think green box. That's
Oh,
gotta
that's
be
Xbox.
Xbox.
That's Xbox. Green
That's
box,
gotta be
Xbox.
Xbox.
That's right.
Nope.
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 Third party.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Chinese knockoff.
And I want to go through this with you, and I'm going to vent a little bit because anytime I find a good product and I can never find it again, I'm always upset because I can't ever find a good product. But I want to let you know something. Whatever this is and wherever it's from,
that's different.
it talks, right? When you press the button, it talks.
Oh, it's got AI in it.
However, it talks like a little Chinese girl. Okay, and she's got a really heavy accent, right? So you hear it go, okay. Oh my God. Oh, that microphone. Like what is she saying? Like
Okay.
So I'm looking at the buttons and I press like the volume up.
I can't wait to come down there next week and listen to this.
Volume up. Volume up. Down. Volume down. Right? If you look closely, I'm gonna try to zoom in on this. Right now, on the one side, it shows a microphone. Right, that's the mute button.
Yep,
right?
I see it.
There's the switch between. Hang on. There's
what is that on the end?
There's switch between game and chat.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The other side has a squatting soldier. Right. I looked at the instruction manual and it says scout mode, and I'm like, it doesn't explain what scout mode is.
I don't have that on this. On this, I have volume up, game
mode?
volume up and down, and then there's like a whatever. Like
Somebody tell me what scout mode is, because I can't read Japanese or Chinese writing on my.
Maybe
it's a picture of it. Look at it. It's a picture of a fucking guy. Yeah,
it's an army guy. Yeah, squatting down.
Squatting scout mode. What? What the hell is scout mode?
Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it softens the. Maybe it softens the volume.
None of that helps me, bro. None of the commands.
What happens when you push the
helps
button?
Me.
What happens when you push the button?
Nothing. She says scout mode. Scout mode.
Oh, scout mode. Okay, all right.
Great, scout mode. What does that do? It says scout mode 3 times in the instruction manual, but doesn't tell you what it does. Like, what is the point of your product if you don't explain the options of your product?
Yeah, Paul's saying it would chance the sound settings, maybe change the sound settings. Maybe it's it goes maybe it's like this. Maybe you don't understand, Sarge. Maybe it's like it's scout mode, and then it's scout mode, and then it's scout mode. It's like 3 separate scout modes at 3 decibel levels.
Yeah, the balancing thing is this guy here. That's the balance one, right?
Right.
So I want it to be like the old stupid me wanted to have the old headset. Nope, can't have that.
There you go. First of all, Okuda Papa says scout mode makes it easier to hear footsteps and other things like in about 20 to 30 meter radius around you.
And how do you know that?
And then Krebsy says,
and how do you know that?
Specific in-game sounds like footsteps, weapon switching, allowing players to more accurately pinpoint location opponents. So
that sounds all amazing.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Well, there's a thing called the internet, Sarge, and you're on it right now.
The instruction manual for this doesn't have it. I have to go on the internet to look up what this does.
Yeah, but that's how they found it. I guarantee you that's how they found the info. Yeah. Yeah, see, Krebsy says, I know how to use Google. There you go. Krebsy, you're like what, 20-something? Early 30s maybe? Or late 20s? Sarge is a borderline boomer. Okay, he's not a boomer, but his technology savvy stuff is boomer-ish. He ain't got time to look up shit on the internet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He wants the instruction manual to actually tell him what the fucking thing does.
I want the instruction manual to tell me what it does.
I got you, Sarge.
If it says scout mode in the instructions 3 times, but it doesn't tell you what scout mode is.
Kuda Papa says, 30, I know because I've been using scout mode on creative devices for the last decade or so. There you go.
Sweet.
So now you know, Sarge, and knowing is half the battle.
I did not get this on Temu. However, it might be Temu through Amazon, through Xbox. I don't know.
It could be. It could be.
I don't know. Right? But I got 2 versions. I got this one and I got the other version. I'm going to see which one.
Does the other one have like a
the other one doesn't
like a German woman on there? It's like,
nope. The other one doesn't have scout mode, bro.
Oh, doesn't have scout mode.
Doesn't have scout mode. And if it does what Krebsy says it does, then I'm about to get a higher KD ratio in my Hell Let Loose game. If that's what it does, we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Bro,
if that's
I'm
what
using
it does.
scout mode. There's 3 guys in the bush over there 10 feet away from us. I can hear them talking and moving. One's scratching their nutsack because I'm on scout mode.
Sound matters in an FPS like that, man. You hear guys reloading. Like when an American's hiding in a bush and he's stupid enough to reload his Garand, and you hear pa-ting, like you know where he is.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't have to fire or shoot his gun. It's just the clip shooting out the gun, and you know. The A40s from when I got that several years ago don't have scout mode. It just has volume and adjustment between.
Sarge's. Yeah.
You know what? Here's what I gotta say for all you young kids. Everybody gets their turn. Go fuck yourselves. We'll see how well you do, we'll see how well you do when we add a 10 to your next stage. We'll see how well all of you do. I'll guarantee you, I can still beat your ass in any game when you plus 10 and I'm plus 10. I'm getting ready to retire, and I'll still whoop your ass in retirement. We'll see. We'll see how well you do if your wives let you keep playing video games when you turn 40. We'll see.
It's true.
We'll see.
It's true. It's true. All right. So you were playing the controller game this week. Any other games that you were playing?
No, the only games I was playing outside of my normal routine was I was playing. I play a lot of online games with people for strategy games. I'm playing the Dune game online. I'm playing the Company Heroes 3 online. I'm playing against matches. I'm finding the same guys I'm playing with. Like they search out you because we have good matches.
You're in that groove with the same group. I miss those days. Yeah.
Yeah. You put your name in. They find you. Then they'll hook up. Yeah.
All right. I've been playing. I've been putting way too many hours in, but I've also been catching up on a lot of stuff, right? Because I've been playing a lot of Brighter Shore, which is that game I told you about, like the RuneScape type of game.
I tried to watch you play, and I needed to get like 3 coffees to stay awake.
That's fine.
Play.
Yeah, it's a
point and click snooze fest. What is it? What is it about it? It looks like Ultima Online, except just a better version.
It's what it is, basically. I mean, it's very addictive. It's there's like layers to it, right? So right now I'm in chapter 3, episode 3. And I'm in the mines, okay? And once you get to episode 3, if you want to continue, you can play the first 2 episodes for free as long as you want, right? And you can go up to 500 each level of all the things you want. You never have to like leave those things. Because of episode 3, and I already put 32 hours in at the time of getting to that point, I paid $6 to
American.
It's $6 American, yeah, for a monthly. It's a monthly fee. It's an online game, right? So it's a multiplayer game. So I paid $6 to get to that 3rd chapter. And then I can play chapter 3 and chapter 4 when I get there. And if I want to continue, then I keep paying the $6 a month. But there's like layers to it. So now I'm in this mine, and now I can become a professional, like what's it called? You can craft stone like shields and weapons.
Mason.
You could be a mason. I don't know if the actual it's not mason, but
what blacksmith is the other?
Yeah,
one?
blacksmith. That's it. Blacksmith. There's a gatherer. There's a bonesmith. Where you collect these bones and make them into weapons. You can make iron into weapons. You can make stone into weapons. And then there's also a scout, which is the guard of that area or whatever. There's like little mini games inside the mines where you can take mine carts and find the certain gear. So on the side of the mine cart, it'll show you a picture of the certain resource that you have to get, if it's iron, flint, or whatever. And then you have to find. So you'll push the mine cart, okay, and then you got to find which. I feel like the thing's glazing over, Sarge. But you have to push the mine cart around, and try to find the part to fill up it, and then you get XP for that. And
God help you! You like those kind of games? God help you!
And then there's a whole section where you take the flint and put it in this machine, and the machine prints it, and then it takes it out, and then you bring it to another area, and you start building shields. Now they don't have trading yet in the game and stuff. Okay, so right now it doesn't really make much sense because all you're doing is making the shields, making the stuff, and then selling it to the NPCs. Down the road, once they add the trading in and there's guilds and stuff like that, there'll be specific people that are making that are the blacksmiths of the guilds or the blacksmiths of the town or the blacksmith of whatever, and then those people with the highest skills will be making the best shields, best weapons, and there'll be a start in-game economy as far as that, right? But that's not implemented in the game yet.
I'll keep going back to this. The way that the Star Wars Galaxies thing did it, I thought was the best way to do it. Even though it might have been tedious then, but the way they keep trying to copy it, but they don't actually do it. People who spend more time creating weapons are the ones that make better weapons. And
right.
Those are the guys that you want to buy from because they know how to make weapons, right? And so you have your actual own economy, right? And here's the best part. When you have a blaster and you use it, it wears out over time. Yes, you can fix it, but every time you fix it, it breaks a little faster each time until it degrades to the point where it's cheaper to buy a new one than it is to try to fix it for
real life.
Right, like real life. So you can actually have an economy where resources are diminished and prices fluctuate. Can people manipulate the market? Sure. They hoard resources until they need them. They wait for the market to be at a specific point. Then they dump the resources back onto the market. But that takes time to do it. But that's the real economy, right? So I like it when they do it like that. I appreciate that.
So that's what this is doing right now. But because the game is 2 weeks old, everyone's trying to level up. There's five classes in the first episode, 4 classes in the second episode, 5 classes in the third episode, 5 classes in the fourth episode. But I'm not there yet. And to get your skills up to the 20 level is no big deal, right? That's almost like the tutorial level of each of those things, right? So 20 gets you to 20, get to 20 gets you somewhat to feel if you want to do that profession or not. That's what it's for. After you hit level 20, that's when it slows down, and it slows down again once I think you hit people are starting into the 200s now, because you can go up to 500 with each of these professions. It reminds me so much like Star Wars Galaxies, because Star Wars Galaxies opened up that skill tree, and then once you got to the master, you got to the master skill tree.
You can finagle what you want. To fuck around
to a certain point.
But when you got to that level, you had to. It's almost like going to college, right?
You had to pick.
You take all your prerequisite classes,
right?
And then you're like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I'm like, "Well, I want to be a doctor." Okay, well, if you want to be a doctor, it goes from this, and it goes. All your skill points have to go over here.
Right. You have to pick and choose.
And the higher you go up here, the more you have to take away from those other skills because you don't have enough points to reach the top.
This is not about skill points going into something, because what's cool about this, I talked about it last week. Every 100 things you do, like if I kill a person, I get 3% up higher. But if I pick a thing, it's 1%. Once you get 100%, you can take the bonus that you got from that and put it towards something else. So let's say you're just a warrior. Or a blacksmith, but
to help offset the skills.
Right, you could put that to something else, or you could put it to something that you haven't been working on, but it's still leveling up as you're focusing your stuff. So what I think is cool, and again, the graphics and stuff don't make it the best, but there's something about it that just clicks with me right now, where I can play the game and focus on what I'm doing, but also listen to YouTube or Netflix or whatnot. It's a perfect game for that. It doesn't need my full-on attention. There's even AFK things that you can do. But what I think is cool is once people start to separate, because it's all about time, Sarge. It has nothing to do with like how many points can I put to. It's literally about time. So if you can put the time 100 hours into this profession, you're going to be a master at that profession, right? You can pick and choose and be like, well, I'm putting up my blacksmith, I'm putting up my gathering, I'm putting up my, but to focus on one, that's what you want to do, because when the time comes when they actually add that stuff into the game and someone needs a blacksmith, they'll be coming to looking for you, right? Because you'll be the best blacksmith in the game, because you're making the best gear. So someone will come up to you, instead of you going out and finding the gear or the resources, someone walks up to you and says, here's my iron, here's my gold, can you make something for me? And you're like, yeah, sure. All right, and you take that, build the stuff, and then sell it back to them.
But we talked about that before, but that's why I don't like the ability. That's why I would like it to be where you have the one character and that's it. Because then if you could be everything and you can have multiple characters that could be anything, then your own self-sufficient thing. It's not part of the economy anymore. That's the difference.
You can do that in this, where you can make a separate character, but then you're still going to take 300 hours to just go up that level. You know what I'm saying? With a different thing, and then you can feed yourself that if you're in your same guild or a friend, or if there's trading, and people will manipulate it like that, but you still got to put the time in towards it.
Well, even if you found the resources, sometimes you still have to give the guy gold. I mean, some guys who are nice will take the resources that are needed to make the weapon and then just make the weapon for you, right? But here's the other thing, right? and this is something that they corrected, I think, maybe a year or two after they came out with it in Star Wars Galaxies, is like, let's say you started the game and you're level 1, but someone gave you 10 grand because they felt sorry for you, right? You could go buy the gun, the badass gun, but they changed it where you had to reach a certain level to get to use that kind of weapon, right? So you'd be like level 15 or 20 in order to use that particular gun. So that kind of broke it up. So then what you were doing is you were looking for the best weapon for levels 1 to 5. And you would spend the money on that one. Then once you got that one, but at least somebody who's starting out wasn't starting out with a rock and a stick.
Right.
You can find the best weapon for your level without wandering around aimlessly and speed up the process a little bit.
Robert Jones says, 30. How you got time for this? Well, I'm telling you, it's so I'm playing it very casually, and there's also leveling up to level 20 is pretty fast, a couple hours. Okay. But then there's these AFK stations. So I can just go put my guy, like right now it's leveling up my fighting in the first city. You get a smaller percentage, but it's still leveling up, right? So when I log back in, it's filling up stuff that I would have been doing, and I don't actually have to play. And while I'm editing or while I'm doing different things, I can just click on certain things, and I have time I'm watching shows, I'm watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. So I'm multitasking playing this game where I couldn't do that if I was playing like, I don't know, like a much more, got to pay attention to the story that's going on or whatnot. So this is literally it's a farming game, basically, is what it is. You know what I mean? So, which is funny but there's something about it, Jones, that it's just clicking with me. And right now, like, I'm so tired of these like broke, buggy, unfinished games that come out that you pay full price for. And this is a free-to-play game, and it's like, it works. It's amazing. It works. And they're not trying to dick me over every fucking turn. You know what I mean? Like, to get to the point I'm in now, to give them $6, I put in 32 hours into the game, and then they asked for $6. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could have paid for it earlier, but they're giving the first 2 episodes, which I could still be playing if I wanted to, and it feels much better than paying for Star Wars Outlaws, $70, and then waiting for the game to be finished in 18 months, or pick a game, right? That's why I'm putting more time into this game than other things, right? I've been enjoying myself with like the smaller games, like the TCG Card Simulator, which they just added. They updated today or yesterday, where customers can come in now and they can trade cards with you. Like, you can buy their cards from them. So we might go check that out. So, Dustin says it's 50 now. What, for Star Wars Outlaws? Okay, I'll wait till it goes to $5. Tell me then. Okay, I've also played and I tried Flight Simulator, Sarge. Right, it came out on Tuesday.
I already heard the nightmares. I'm surprised. I'm surprised my nephew hasn't called me crying.
He's enjoying it now, but he's justifying it to himself, right? He's like it's okay. I think they'll fix it. He's like the planes look good. It's just the ground and stuff looks really bad because it does. It looks very, very like pixelated.
Let me tell you what Flight Simulator looked like when I was his age.
It's in the game. No, it's in the game. So the screen on the airplane, like showing you like the runway stuff, that's close to what the graphics used to look like on the actual game.
Do you remember Flight Simulator back?
Yeah, it used to be lines and things.
Just lines and blocks.
Just lines. Yeah, that's it.
You had to get like a landmark, like Eiffel Tower, or Empire State Building. Blocks and lines.
Yeah, so he's playing it. He's enjoying it. He's like level 10, I think now, because he's been playing it pretty much all afternoon. And he got to the point where he had the skydiver, where he's in an airplane now, where he's a skydiver plane instructor or whatever. So I didn't know this was in the game. He just showed it to me before I got in here. He's like, Dad, look at this. So it's got the plane overhead, and it shows you like the fuel and like the pounds that you're putting in, because he's got like 6 or 7 people inside the plane with him, like passengers that are all like skydivers. So you have to like put enough fuel in to get to the certain point with the weight that you're carrying, and you have to do all these different things. Like, so if you're an aviation like nerd, right, this is your dream right now, right? So you have these little things that you can do with it. Then you got to fly up to a certain point for the mission so they can jump out of the plane, and then they skydive down, which I think is pretty cool. So there's like different career paths that you can take inside the game. We're going to talk about the problems that it's been having, but I played it. I liked it. It was a little stuttering and whatnot, but again, it's this like just relaxed game. Like I'm playing a click game. I'm playing a game where you could put it on fucking autopilot while it's flying 90% of the way to the destination, and then you take over for landing and whatnot, right? So it's very interesting. The type of games I'm playing right now, but I am playing them. Games are there for different people. Some people like action-packed games. Some people like farm simulator games. Some people like the flight simulator games. Some people like the point-and-click games. So that's what I've been playing this week. I've been playing a lot of Brighter Shores, and then I've been playing a little bit of Flight Sim.
Like I'm starting to get the itch. I'm starting to get the RPG itch a little bit. Like I'm starting to looking at Baldur's Gate again, like to actually sit down and play it.
The video I watched today of Force Gaming showing about Avowed, that got me interested. When when he started showing all the stuff,
it looked like
he showed me the skill tree, and I was like, I'm in.
It looked like a combination between like a Bethesda game and the Outer Worlds type of thing, where it's not so complicated. It's more of just a fun action RPG. Can you go third person, or is it just first person?
No, someone showed me, Magic Dolphin showed me a picture in Discord that you can go first person, third person in Avowed.
I mean, it looks interesting. Those spiders though look like the creature from Phantom Menace though.
Oh yeah.
Those spiders look like that creature. Those legs are dead giveaway. Like, once again, I don't care. I'm just saying I know where they get their ideas from. You can tell.
All right. So that's the games we've been playing this week. And let's get to what we've been not what we've been playing, but the top stories. If you're wearing earphones, just pull them away from your ears for a second. Are you awake? Are you awake, chat?
I found a good thing when I hear that one. I picture myself running away, and in the background right here is like a death machine trying to get me, but I'm the one running away. Like that's what I hear when I hear that music.
What is that noise? I hear
your headset's about to go, bro.
No, it sounded like a cricket in my ear for a second. Like literally, it sounded like a cricket, like in one of my headsets. All right. So first story, Sarge. The Blockbuster game bubble has burst. Okay, this article comes from IGN. Okay, I brought this up to Greg Owen last night when we were doing the Chatting with podcast last night.
It was a good show, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. The Blockbuster games bubble has burst. The AAA industry survival may depend on the smaller scale, creativity, diverse games. Okay,
good.
It says here, across the past 2 years, over 23,000 jobs in the video game industry were lost. In a staggering 6,000 in January of 2024 alone, over 30 video game development studios have ceased operation, including Arcane, all right, and Firewalk Studios. Okay, and then, the whole COVID pandemic, and whatnot. It says just 5 years ago, AAA projects' average budget was 50 to 150 million, right? Just 5 years ago, 50 to 150 million. Today, the minimum average is 200 million. Call of Duty's next benchmark is 300 million, and the Activision admitting that the Competition and Marketing Authority report on AAA development that is now takes an efforts of 1.5 studios and just completed the annual Call of Duty title. Okay, it says as far from Call of Duty's facing ballooning costs, it's the same CMA report, and anonymous publishers admit that development costs for one of its franchises reached $660 million. Okay, with $550 million of marketing costs on top of that, so it's $1.2 billion. We don't know what that game is.
That's like a movie,
right? Right.
Like
we don't know what game that is, but okay. It says to put that in perspective, Minecraft, the world's best-selling video game of all time, has of last year only achieved $3 billion. Okay, it took 12 years to reach that figure, and having launched in 2011, there's a game that spent 1.2 billion, 1/3 of what Minecraft made in 12 years. Okay, so you have these games coming out that are broke, buggy, unfinished. Okay, they send them out to die basically because there's a bunch of people that buy it and they're like, well, I'm having fun. Well, great, you can have fun, but you're having fun with a broken product.
But that group of people that are saying they're having fun ain't enough to keep them afloat.
Exactly right. The people that are saying that they're having fun with the game, it's not enough, where they have to sell a bunch of stuff. So now these companies are coming out, and you look at what's happening with, which we'll talk about in a second, Outlaws, right? Outlaws came out 4 months ago, okay? Right? August, September, October? Yeah, 4 months ago, okay? They're making fixes now. They've done 4 patches since the game came out, And the game has changed, but what it was 4 months ago. If it came out still today, I watched the video today. It was like an hour and a half long on Twitch. They showed all the new stuff that was happening. The new director was talking, likable guy and stuff like that. He talked like, he sounds like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Okay. And I was watching it and I was like, man, if this was the launch day and not 4 months after it came out where you had to make the fixes, we might be excited. But we're not at that point. We're at the point of 4 months after the fact, okay? And you're adding stuff in the game, and even Greg Owen last night on the stream was like, he asked me, he's like, do you think that this was put in the game, or was it like an afterthought, right? Was it baked into the foundation, or are these cosmetic fixes across the thing? And I answered the question and said, well, it's twofold. I think some of them are cosmetic, like the animations and stuff like that. That's cosmetic, but a lot of the stuff was supposed to be baked into the game. But I believe Disney pushed it out early. I believe Ubisoft was like, yeah, let's go ahead, right? So the next story I want to talk about, which is still the same story, we're talking about blockbuster games here, but Ubisoft comes out, and I talked about this article. Is this it? Here it is, right? Shoot. Okay, Ubisoft, right? So let me bring this one up. Right, this is still about blockbuster games flopping here, right? It's bursted. This is Ubisoft. Exec says the Assassin's Creed Shadows devs think it's the worst thing they've ever seen. Now, obviously, it's a clickbait title because
100%.
The reason they think it's the worst thing they've ever seen, and this is the bigger story, I think, is that the studio has majority of junior developers. Okay, junior developers that people have never worked on a game or barely worked on games before, so this is their first time. So when they look at their game and go, how is this going to be complete? This is the worst thing I've ever seen. That's saying because they've never seen a game come from completion to the final end, right? So the title, when it says it's the worst thing they've ever seen, yeah, it is the worst thing they've ever seen. But the experience level, that's the problem. So you go back and look at Outlaws. You go back and look at a Battlefield 2042. You go back and look at these games that have come out in the past couple of years where the cost is ballooning, but yet the people working on the games inexperienced. They're not as experienced as the people. They're just a shill of what they used to be. They're just the name of BioWare. They're just the name of Rocksteady. They're just a name of EA. They're just a name of right. So that's the big thing. So I threw all this at you, Sarge. What do you think's happening with the video game industry, with the blockbuster?
No. I'm all ready for this.
All right, go ahead.
I'm all ready for this. Right. I don't want to get too preachy about it, but there's several factors here that we have to consider. Okay. The first factor is, just like everything else, the prices have gone up from inflation too much, right? To compensate. So in order for a game to make its money back, you got to sell way more copies, or you got to charge way more for the video game, which is what they were kept barking at us for like 2 years. Remember, they kept saying the game prices have to come up. The game prices have to come up. But they sat in boardrooms and they decided. They know that if they raise the price of a video game up to like $80 or $90, they would be dead. It's much easier to charge $70 and have microtransactions in the game to make up for that, and that's what they were betting on. Okay, that's number one. Now, we all know that inflation is going to come down. It doesn't come back all the way down, but it's going to come down. Things have to go back to normal, or semi-quote in there, normal, like where the price of a game hasn't doubled. Maybe it goes up 20% or 30%, but not doubled. Right? That's a lot of money. Right? That's a lot of money invested in the game for the period of time that we all know it takes to make a AAA game. And the games are getting more complicated, right? And so the games have to be in longer. Now, we all know now that they are pushing these games out because they have to have something on the books for that quarter, for that and for semi-annual, for the annual, for whatever it is they have it on the books for. That game has to come out. And they don't care. Right? You have to remember, when the company gets too big, it's about the product being released. It's not about the quality of the product, right? So when you're reading an article and you have the guys saying out loud, it's the worst thing we've ever seen, you have to remember, if you are an up-and-coming developer, fresh out of school, fresh eyes, ambitious, happy to be part of a company, you want to put your stamp on a game that you've been growing up playing, it's your chance to shine, right? And so what do they want to do? Well, they want to make a good product, right? They come in bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. They do the over the 40 hours a week because they're passionate about the work. They want to get the game done correctly. But what does old Soup Man come up and say to them in the middle of the development cycle? Hey guys, great work. But it's we're gonna shorten it by 4 months. It's got to be out. This is what has to happen. We have to cut all this stuff out here because we're not gonna make it. But it's got to be out by Christmas. Thanks for playing. Have a nice day.
Right.
And they say, well, but it's not going to be done the way we want it.
Right. It doesn't matter.
It's not going to be complete, and they have to get over the suit telling them it doesn't matter that it's not good enough.
Right. They're going to buy it.
We got to get it out.
Right. We got to get it out. We'll fix it over time.
So you have to have these new guys who have never done a game before accept the fact that their substandard quality is what they want to be sold. And if I was them, I would be upset. Why don't you want my best work? Because we're on a time schedule. That's it. Meanwhile, for some strange reason, I would say a good portion of the games that we were privy to for 20 years, right? Did they have bugs? Yes. Did they have problems? Yes. But were they game breaking? Have to sue you? Have to get refunds? Like, no. You rolled with the punch and you made the game. But that's not how it is anymore, right? That's not how it is.
It's not
right?
the constant
if they're not at a 45-degree angle or better of profits, then they're not happy, right? They're not happy. The other thing that's happening right now is that you have shit on us, the gamer, for so long that the number of blind mice that will throw money at the screen for your pre-order to buy your game so you can feel better about your shitty product being released in a shitty state, right, are dwindling. I guarantee you, if you look at the pre-order sales over time for AAA games, I guarantee you they keep getting lower each time. Every time we get fucked, less people are going to pre-order. And they keep repeating the process. So now you have less people pre-ordering and buying the game coming out.
So you get more money out of them.
Right? You can't get more money out of them that way, right? Then you can't get them to pre-order. You can't get them to buy day one. And then the best part is they splash the Steam numbers up there, and it sends everybody into a tizzy. What do you mean only 3,000 people are playing it? Like, yeah, you want to know why? Because there's 17,000 fucking games that were released. My time can be divided. My time can be divided to indie games for the rest of for the next year. I'll never look at a AAA publisher at all. I can play games all year and never look at you, right? I would much rather throw $25 at a guy in his garage than have to worry about any more of these AAA people telling me their sad sob story about how they can't complete a fucking product, right? And they couldn't complete it when they had vet teams in there. And now we got complete and total rookies who want to make a good product, and you won't fucking let them. You won't let them.
Yeah.
So is the Blockbuster game over? In current market conditions, abso-fucking-lutely. Make a basic game, sell a basic game, and when the inflation comes back down and labor prices come back down and things adjust a little bit in the next couple of years, then go back to making a AAA game. But don't tell me that you guys have to keep pumping out these fucking tragedies, and I mean fucking tragedies, in order to cover your bottom line. Because Ubisoft proved without a shadow of a doubt that they don't have the staff, the skill, or the money to make any more of this crap at all. And if they go bye-bye, normal market conditions. Have a nice day. Right? There's always somebody else coming up. Always somebody else coming up. With 17,000 plus games, one of those developers will be heard, one of those developers will be noticed, and they'll push them up a couple pegs up. That's where we need to be. I'm sorry.
No, Sarge's blood pressure is like that all the time, Travis. That's where he lives. That's normal.
How many times do you have to watch the same article come out and you go, yeah, it's sad, but we don't want to be too negative about it. I don't understand what you mean by too negative. You want my money,
right?
But you don't have the product that for the money. You don't have it, right? You want full price up front, but you don't have the product. You have the promise of a product, right? So now your answer is, well, why don't you just pay us a monthly fee to enjoy yourself?
Just pay us that $18.
Right? Just pay us $20 a month, and you won't have to worry about the games broken because you'll have so many other choices. Once again, I go back to the same thing of any other product on the fucking country. Where else does somebody give you a half-ass product for full price and then tell you to go fuck yourselves? Where else? Where else but video games?
Yeah, maybe a strip club. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, no,
it doesn't make sense.
well,
The idea is to have product that's worthy of your name. These guys have the balls to be called these AAA companies that we grew up with, and they're a name only, and they are destroying the credibility of these companies, and they are doing it willingly. It's not an accident. It's not they don't have a choice. They have a choice, but the shareholder means more to them than their own reputation of the game. So what you're saying is I would rather sacrifice the reputation of my company, therefore lowering the market cap that I could capture in the market, because I've got to get this game out, and I'm willing to sacrifice annually to lose 10% of the people that used to come back and buy my games, because I have to do what the shareholder wants instead of making a product that people want.
right.
You took 20 years of building up an IP and building up a reputation, and in less than 2 years, you have flushed down the toilet probably good 13 of the most well-known AAA companies on the planet and threw them into the fucking garbage.
Yeah, there's Rocksteady,
And we're all
BioWare,
just supposed to sit around and go like this.
Ubisoft.
No big deal. No big deal.
I'm liking it though. I like it. I love video games. I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
Right? If there was a lemon law,
I'm having fun, Sarge.
Yeah,
I'm having fun.
Yeah, if there was a lemon law for video games, these guys would be sued into oblivion. Sued into oblivion. You would get the 3-strike rule. Your game doesn't work after the third time you do an update, and you're out of business. You have to give refunds, right? The issue is that the consumer protection and the rules of the new licensing for digital games is so ass backwards that there's no options. We have no options. That's the issue. If the licensing for a game was the same as it is digitally, same. The only difference should be it's in my hand or it's on my hard drive, but the rules should be the same. It's mine. You don't get to turn it off. You don't get to decide when I go on. It's still mine. The license is the same, right? But they want it to be, well, they don't actually have it. So now we get to say more shit to them. I get to tell you what your game is, if it can be on or off, because you don't actually have the license or the key in your presence anymore.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right. So not only are you not getting the game up front, you're getting a game over the next 18 to 24 months. And then by the time the 24 months is done, they pull it away from you because they're done supporting the game.
If you are old enough to witness the pendulum swing both ways, you'll understand that when the economy starts going back the other way, no one will talk about this anymore. It'll just be somebody else doing another AAA title, and we'll move on as usual. It's the factors involved that are all combining at the same time. You got labor laws want more money, the inflation's up too high, costs are too high, and the amount of time it takes to make the game is still the same, right? Now, we talked about this before. AI, when they figure out how to use it properly, and I don't mean like the stuff we've been sending each other.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like legitimate use AI to help speed up the process of development.
Speed up the process, and you don't even know it's AI doing it.
So if you're looking at the pendulum swing, right? We got problems over here: labor, inflation, and time. Right now, when the pendulum starts to swing back the other way, and you have AI and labor costs come down, you have this little boon where games are made again in the same amount of time, but it costs cheaper, and they'll start pumping out more games. We just happen to be at this crossroads of it's so overwhelming for a company now, the amount of money it takes to make that same game as it did 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. This is going to pass. Right. But the problem is they refuse. And once again, they're doing it on purpose. They refuse to change the type of game they're going to make. In their head, they have to make the AAA.
Well,
right?
Here's
they can't make an A or a B and make some money. They gotta do the AAA. They got to.
Right. So this is the next thing to go into. Assassin's Creed executive producer admits that Ubisoft doesn't know where their players are and how the company can reach them.
How?
What?
How?
What type?
How?
It's like he lost his keys in the couch. Right, I think it was
Tell
Robert
me
Jones.
how you don't know where they are.
I think it was Robert Jones the other day. Was like, did they check the couch or it was Hilly? Someone said it. I was.
You guys are spending money.
Oh, it was hilly. It was hilly.
You guys are spending money on psychologists on how to fuck us mentally, how to get us addicted to games, and you don't have a department to try to figure out where your fucking market is. Do you want me to believe that? Once again, John F. Trent, your name goes on my list now for stupid ass articles. I'm gonna be looking for your name. I'm gonna be looking for your name again, Trent, because for you to say that they don't know where it is a fucking lie. It's a lie, right? They have an entire division inside their company who looks where the goddamn consumers are. They pissed away the goodwill of the consumer base. That's why you can't find them anymore, because they're not throwing money at you anymore blindly. That's it. That's all it is.
So Cote was asked how external development with Ubisoft in the next 3 to 5 years. He responded, I think we're in the era of a peak change. I don't know if the industry is going to look like this 5 years, but clearly it won't look like what it will look like in 5 years, but clearly we're transforming. He says, I think it can create anxiety, and I think the challenges that we need to solve together, because whether it's a AAA or even if it's more indie space, the receipts for success we can be at maybe the last 20 years is dramatically shifting, right? Which you just basically said, Sarge. So he says we still need to innovate and and he continued, we need to control our costs because of a balloon clearly over the last 5 years. He says next he shared how many companies does not know where the players are and does not know how to get them and players back. He said we need to find where the players are, which has been a question that we've been having for the last 2 years. Where are the players? What are they playing?
They left. They left.
What are they playing? What are they doing to reach? How do we reach them? All this because the last coming years the industry has transformed. Like they're like, hello. They're like looking underneath the keyboards and stuff. Like where are the players? Hello. Just make a game. Stop taking stuff and shoving it down our throat. Right? Stop preaching to us. Just make a good game. Sell a good game. Krebsy earlier in the channel was like, if it wasn't for the the Japanese market, the West, okay, like the whole industry would be bankrupt right now. Okay, all the big hits that came out this year, for majority of them, are not from the East. Or I'm sorry, they are from the East. They're not from the West. Okay, right? So they're all from the East. All the big hits are all from the East. If it wasn't for them coming out with games this year, what would the landscape look like? Right? I mean, I guess you could say, well, if those didn't come out, maybe they would have bought Outlaws. Maybe they would have bought the other games, but
the independent market is poised perfectly for them. Right? They're caught between over-budgeted, bloated AAA companies, and you have guys working in the garage just trying to make a game. Like that guy who made that tower defense game that I keep getting the advertisements for. I looked at that game, right?
I don't see advertisements, so I don't know which one you're talking about.
It's a perfectly good tower defense game. It's almost got those vector lines from back in the day, like Tempest used to be. You know what I mean? Like, we remember what Tempest used to look like, Mario? Like, it's a tower defense game. And so it's called The Tower. And I looked at it, I'm like, this guy's got something. It's just him by himself made a game. It's fun. Play when you're sitting on the toilet or your girlfriend's yelling at you. Like, just have something to do, right? And you're playing a game. That's the market. Triple costs, triple labor, same amount of time to make the game. You cannot sell 30 million copies of a game that you copy pasted 17 times.
Right.
Especially when you release it broke.
Yeah. I mean,
just wait.
This year, right? Well, even last year, one fiscal year, they released Avatar Pandora, which they have problems with that again because now there's a bug going around, supposedly a bug, where the DLC, if you just want to play the game, you don't want to buy the DLC, you just want to play the normal game. There's an error going around where it doesn't let you play your normal game because you have to buy the DLC to continue your save game.
I thought that was a joke. Is that a joke?
No. That's a real thing that's happening.
Was it Ron?
Roadkill? Roadkill looked on his and said his is working, so it's fine. So if it is an error, it's been 5 months and Ubisoft hasn't said a word about it. Okay, all right. So that's a problem from Avatar Pandora. Then you had Prince of Persia that came out. It actually worked. It's an actual really good game. People were really happy with the game, but it undersold, right? Because it's a side scroller. You know what I mean? It's a platformer type of thing, an old school type of game, and a lot of people don't want to play those games anymore, right? Then they had Skull and Bones. Ubisoft Skull and Bones.
Don't even get me started, bro.
We can just skip that. You know what Skull and Bones is, okay? People defend it, but we know what it is, right? Then we have X Defiant come out, netcode issues that they said a year ago. Well, we have netcode issues, but we'll get that figured out when it launches. It launched in May. They didn't figure it out. They're still having problems. They're diminishing. All right. Then they had Star Wars Outlaws, which now it's almost looking like a game it should be out on day one. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows, which now has got pushed to next year, and they're having major issues with that behind the scenes. Lots of rumors are going around now, which I won't report on any of those because they're all just what it is, right? So Ubisoft going, I don't know where the players are. I'll tell you where they are. They're over here playing games that are actually working.
They're playing games that are working. That's it.
How do we get them back, Sarge?
So do you think that there's 60 million gamers that just disappeared? Do you believe that? No, there are more choices. You guys are bloated. You don't have a quality product, and I have options. As a consumer in the gaming sphere, with all the options I have between Steam, Christ almighty, how many games on Steam, bro? My time is limited, and if I'm going to play a game, if you spit in my face 17 times in a row, and goddamn, I'd stop after 3, but some of you like to get spit on after 17 times, and you still go out and buy the game day one, and it's still not working for you. The other people that are saying it's not fun anymore are playing something else.
Right. They've already moved on. They had their fun and they moved on to something else.
Right. They're just playing something else. Lo and behold, before Grand Theft Auto had games or Assassin's Creed had games or Halo had games, there were just other games, right? They took 10 hours, 15 hours. You played them and you put them down and you move on to the next game, right? There are plenty of games. We're looking at the AAA games because those are the ones that we remember over time who had the greatest impact on us when we were growing up. Of course. But now,
well, we don't talk about the indie films, right? We talk about the blockbuster films.
They are only in name only. The more articles you guys see, the more you'll notice that it doesn't matter what. Pick any one you think you love, anyone, and go look to see what the veteran status is. They're all young kids. They're all starting from scratch. And here's the worst part. They're starting from scratch in a bad academic time. So you're, like I said earlier, you're taking bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kids and you're telling them to do a half-assed job because that's just business. And that's not how they graduated school thinking they wanted to make the best of the best, and they're not allowed to, right?
Right.
It's a bad time to get into the market now when you're being put in through this. Right?
Well,
I would bet that a lot of these young kids, if they're smart, I know you want to stay with the name. I know they want to stay with the name. But if they don't stay with the name, at least spend your time in an indie game development cycle and make a game that you love and at least be passionate about it. This way at least you make your bones and get yourself some skills. And then when the market comes back the other way, you're ready to jump into a AAA title with some of your buddies. And that was the other part that was missing. Like, the cohorts of like guys who were like-minded, who knew how to do specifics in certain games, like best at doing first-person shooters or best at doing RPGs. And these guys all work together. They went to school together. They work together on multiple projects. And there's a good cohesion there, and they work better, right? Now you've got Wild West. Everyone's getting fired.
Right.
New faces, new clean Xbox coming in, and nobody knows anybody. There's no cohesion. And what do you want? Oh, we want you to be done in 6 months. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah,
it's just not going to work.
We need to get out the door, right? So here's another one from Ubisoft, right? So 3 months after launch, Star Wars Outlaws' next big update is starting to sound like a whole new open world game, right? So they've added, headshots are now.
Is that a real face? Is that a real face? Go back up.
Yeah.
Of her. Oh, that looks.
No, they did visually change.
She even got freckles.
Yeah, they visually did change the stuff the last couple patches. So headshots are now more rewarding. Okay, so they do have like different animations. Health and armor stats revamp after various enemy types, more distinct. Enemies have new weak points. New enemies have defeat animations and hit reactions now. Every weapon has recoil, fire rate, and ammo accurate stats tweaked, so they all act differently now. Some weapons, like the blaster rifle, have also shooting patterns completely redesigned. The power modules now lets you shoot through cover. Okay, the ion module now stuns enemies longer. You no longer drop scavenged weapons. You know the whole pick up a weapon, climb a ladder, they drop it. Now you can.
Put on your back.
Now you can put it on your back, and when you run out of bullets, you just have to find another rifle, okay? And you can carry it around. You can put it on your bike and use it in a different mission.
Battery pack. Laser gun. Battery pack, yeah.
Whatever. You have to pick up the more ammo. Yeah. You can bring it with you to a different mission now because you put it on your bike as you travel. So you can use it in different ways. You can actually choose now, Okay. What shoulder you want to favor, right? I actually said that when I was playing, bless you. When I was playing, I was like, man, I wish you could swap shoulders when you're hiding behind a box or whatever, right? They also decided that you can decide. Imagine this, Sarge, in a video game. Just imagine in a video game making a choice if you want to go stealth or if you want to go loud. Okay. Where in that game originally, when it first came out, there was missions that you had to go stealth, and if you failed to stealth, you would get kicked out and you would have to start over. Now you can go guns blazing, loud as you can, or you can stealth. The stealth mechanics they fixed, and great. This is a fantastic that they're fixing it.
Great.
But this should be day one. This should be day one, not day 180. Okay, and why are they doing this, Sarge? Well, they're making these changes and fixes because now it just came out on Steam. Okay. So there's a whole new audience now that can play this game for the very first time, and they heard some stuff, but now they see it that, well, they made these fixes. It's a much better game. They got rid of that filter that looked like it was really like blurry and fuzzy. Now they made it like crystal clear. They went around and changed stuff in the world, so now the graphics look even more like the mud and the grass and the rain. Everything feels more real. And I said this last night with Greg. I was like, I think they just rushed it out the door, man, because Disney wants one big Star Wars game and one small Star Wars game a year, right? We read that a couple months ago, last year or whatever, where they wanted to do one big game, one small game. Bounty Hunters was a small game. This is the big game, and now we're in a new year, 2025. What's the two Star Wars games coming out, right? What small games coming out for Star Wars? What big games coming out for Star Wars next year? So this is yet another Ubisoft. Ubisoft was we just like shitting on Ubisoft left and right here. Speaking on, we got rid of the Blockbuster. Let's talk about Destiny. Okay, so Destiny, there is a rumor going around, Sarge. There's a rumor going around by 1GP. It's an article that's being written. We talked about this in the past. Okay, we talked about this. Where is it? Right here. We discussed this years ago. I said they will 100% reboot Destiny 1 and resell it. Okay, so since those long years ago, Sarge, lots changed with Bungie. Nothing's changed with Bungie, but a lot's changed with Bungie because now they're owned by the masters of remaster, okay, which is Sony. Okay, Sony loves its remasters. They love their remakes, okay? And so Destiny 1 remastered on the horizon, question mark. Bungie acknowledges fan demand, okay, because the fans are demanding that they get Destiny 1 remastered. It says, with Destiny 1 getting permanent price drop, fans are calling for an update version of the original game, and now Bungie has acknowledged the demand. It's been over a decade since the launch of Bungie's looter shooter MMO Destiny, and first launched in September of 2014, and the game received several major expansions during the life cycle, including The Dark Below, House of Wolves, Taken King, Rise of Iron, and bring fresh content to keep the players hooked. Now, fast forward this week, Bungie had just slashed prices for Destiny 1 expansions on DLCs and across PlayStation and Xbox platforms, and the newly discounted bundle Destiny collection now costs $19.99, making it easier forever for new players to experience the original game and veterans to relive their favorite memories. This is also a massive price cut. Obviously, the holidays are coming and whatnot. But it says, could Destiny 1 Remastered be in the cards? 100%. Okay. First of all, we're talking about Sony just in a couple weeks ago said that they didn't have enough IPs that they could work on. Okay, They missed out on owning the brand when Bungie was by themselves with Destiny 1. Sony loves making remakes and remasters with Last of Us and Horizon and God of War and whatever else they're going to be doing.
This is at the top of the list.
Right?
If you remade Destiny 1 and you remade it, remastered it, right, and sold it, you know what they're going to sell it for like $30. They're not going to sell it for $20. But that would be that because it's a think about it, bro. It's a complete game,
right?
The original Destiny 1 all the way up through Taken King is Destiny 1. That's Destiny, right?
And
a whole new generation of kids who don't know what Destiny is.
Right. My son's never played it. He's 10 now. He was born when it came out, right? But Bungie was like, Destiny 2 is a little rocky, right? They learned a lot. They could go back and change a couple things to make Destiny 1 even better. Okay. And they don't know what's happening with Destiny 3. They don't know what they're doing with Destiny 2. They know there's stuff going on, but they're like, you know what? Know what we could do? We got Destiny 1 in the back. We could take all that stuff and put it back up and sell it to everybody. And now we get all that money.
100%.
This is the top of the list. This just shot up past Destiny 3, right?
Absolutely.
This is going above
Absolutely.
Destiny 3. Destiny 1 remastered is before Destiny 3, right? Was that the Big Book of Bull? Should we put that in the Big Book of Bull, Sarge?
I don't know if that's Big Book of Bull because it's a guarantee.
That's
Big Book of Bull is us guessing on something that we feel passionate about. We know Sony is going to remaster Destiny 1. How else are you going to make your money back? Right? You got to sell something.
Yeah.
You got to sell something.
And I think, obviously, a lot of people, I'm thinking about it, right? Just now, right? I'm thinking about it. Would I buy a remastered, and I hate remasters, Sarge. I hate remasters.
I know.
Right? Would I buy Destiny 1, all of it, remastered with all the new graphics and all the stuff? Would I buy it? No.
For 20
No,
bucks?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No,
You
I
wouldn't.
Would it be worth it for somebody? 100%. Yes.
But
yes.
a kid who doesn't know anything about Destiny gets the entire series, the original D1 for $20? Abso-fucking-lutely. It would go platinum. It would go platinum week 1.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it, Taco, because my hatred goes deeper than just the game. It's the company itself. Yeah, a lot would. A lot would. Right? So I don't think I could ever really support Bungie like buying it. Like if I got to play one of their games and tried it out for like a beta or something, sure. But they're never getting another dime from me. Bungie will never. They will never get another dime from me.
I have spent all the money I'm going to ever spend on Destiny.
Yeah, like they can make the latest, greatest, fantastic, and I'd be like, have fun with it. I'm never giving them another dime. So that's interesting. But 100%, Destiny will probably come back in some way, shape, or form.
I could just see all the weapons, thinking about all the raid, all the dungeons, all the stuff from D1, all the first time of everything. I think about the entire thing. 100%, the kid for $20 would be yes. Yeah.
I mean,
all the original weapons are there.
Great memories of that game.
All the original weapons are still there. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. D1, I get mixed up with my experiences in D1 over D2. Like all the things I think about when I close my eyes and think of moments in Destiny over the last 10 years, technically 6 because I stopped playing 4 years ago, is that all the good memories I have is Destiny 1. Everything is from Destiny 1. The only thing I can remember really from Destiny 2 is the Forgotten City. I thought that was a cool DLC when you is that what it's called? See, I don't even remember if it's called the Forgotten City or right? Like that's what I remember. Like I thought it was cool that you beat the game and then like that opened up and then that was like a cool aspect of the game. But all my memories, the raids, the guns, the shooting into the caves, the Dreaming City. Thank you very much. See, I forgot what it was called. Forgotten Shores or Forsaken or something like that, right? Like D2 doesn't exist in my brain. D1 was amazing. Like everything about it, the nightfalls, right? The strikes, the weapons, just everything about it.
Having to have the right weapons in order to do the nightfall.
Remember when I got my Fatebringer, right? Remembering when I woke up my kid when he was just 6 months old.
That dark the moon raid was insane. Trying to get through those thralls in the beginning before anyone had it. Before anybody had
from lamp to lamp.
Yeah, before anybody had the weapons good enough to do it.
Yeah,
crazy hard.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Where are you? I don't know what you got. Hey. We're to the left. Oh shit!
Yeah,
I got your back.
How many replays? How many replays? And then remember when you did the Nightfall version of it, one shot done, and then you were done.
Yeah,
if you died, that was even more brutal.
Waterbear says 30. Your memory of D2 is looking at a sphere on stream for 4 hours. Oh my god, that was the worst event ever. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Crota underlevel was rough, Dark Taco, but when you had the Galahorn, when you got the Crota, it was fun time for all.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was like everybody had Galahorn when you saw Crota, when you guys were ready for it at that point. All right, bitch. Let's go. 3,
2, 1. All right, go. I would run across as the hunter. Yeah, the slice. All right, go, and then everyone would shoot the rockets.
What was the best though? Crota would come over and he would grab his junk and give you the finger. Remember that?
Yeah.
What kind of animation was that? Like he'd come over, stare at you.
It looked like he was flicking you off.
Grabbing his junk and then he would give you the finger. I was like, what the fuck, Bungie? Like he would troll you. Crota would actually troll you.
Yeah, it was funny. All right. Well, speaking of Bungie, Sarge, I think we have a. I think we have it.
I hear it.
From Teslas to old school rides galore, still working at Bungie, buddies out for more. Pete Parson Carson in a car buying spree, but destiny's calling, he's gotta be free. Oh, Pete Parson Carson rolling down the road, the car's stacking high, but he's still in go mode. Go Pete, go, save some room for Bungie. From Teslas to old school rides galore, still working at Bungie, buddies out for more. Pete Parson Carson in a car buying spree, but destiny's calling, he's gotta be free. Oh, Pete Parson Carson rolling down the road, the car's stacking high, but he's still in go mode. Go Pete, go, let's save some room for Bungie.
It's a little game that we play every so often when we talk about a Destiny thing.
Still going, Sarge. Still going.
I could talk over this part. So some of you who have been here, if you can identify what the new cars are, and you put it in Discord, we see if you guys are following along for the weeks. He's got 2 new cars on the page. If you guys know what they are, you put them in Discord.
I'll pop them. I'll pop it up again for you guys.
Yeah. For those of you that have been following us around, there's 2 new cars on that map.
2 new cars on the docket?
You just put them in Discord. We'll see if you guys are right.
You can put it in chat too right now if you. There you go.
I mean, we make fun of him because that son of a bitch. It just what he does. Just so ridiculous.
Yeah,
so ridiculous.
I like that we see a Pete Parsons still at Bungie everywhere. Not every week, but
he's still there. Absolutely.
It's 9:12. I want to do one more story, and then we'll go to the Game Awards and stuff. We'll talk about Game Awards. So Marvel Rivals. Let me bring this up here. Present. And Marvel Rivals. All right. So Marvel Rivals releases ambitious roadmap, and the article says, "I need it now." Right? They're very excited for what they're bringing, and what are they bringing? Okay, they're bringing 33 heroes at launch, 8 maps of quick match and competitive modes, one conquest map, new practice range. Okay, and it says further, only 27 of the 33 playable characters have been revealed of as writing this. And okay, so we have Adam Warlock, we have Black Panther, we have Captain America, we have Doctor Strange, we have Groot, we have Hela, Hulk, Iron Man, Jeff the Land Shark, Loki, Luna Snow, Magic, Magneto, Mantis, Moon Knight, Namor, Penny Parker, Psylocke, Punisher, Rocket Raccoon, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Storm, Thor, Venom, Winter Soldier, and they also showed Hawkeye today, I believe. So there's like 28, I think, right now, maybe 29. They need 40. I'm telling you, 40 at launch, but they're not going to do that. They'll probably do 33 and then 7 throughout the year to get to the, 40 mark.
I would like a little parentheses next to these guys' names of what class of character they are.
What's that?
I said I would like a little parentheses next to these names.
Yeah.
Of what type of character they are.
Oh,
are they a tank, damage dealer? Are they support, healer, like that kind of stuff?
They're missing some big ones, right? They're missing like Black Widow. They're missing Wolverine.
They got to bait you in. They got to bait you in. Get some more in.
They got to put. Do they have? Right. They don't have Miss Marvel. They don't have. Right. There's a lot of. They don't have. Where's Storm? Was Storm there?
There's a lot of B-level guys in there, bro. They have to. They have to bait the hook.
They should put.
I'm aware.
Times the amount.
I know your stance
of people
I know your
here.
stance.
It says when Marvel's Rival Season 1 starts early January 2025, it will run around 3 months, and then it'll treat to new maps, heroes, team up abilities, and possibly new game modes. Battle Pass are inevitable, though coming with the new costumes and other visual enhancements on December 6th. It says he's talking about his Magneto. Okay, yeah. So I'm excited for this game. I'll probably play it a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to jump into it like I did Overwatch when it first came out. But it is Marvel. But man, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I wish they did something else with this type of art style, and they did some sort of like PvE mode with these characters as well, or like add them in, give me like a little story mode, something that Overwatch was supposed to do, but they stopped doing it. Because if it's just PvP, I think it'll be hot at the start, and then it'll just kind of slowly die off because people get bored. Because when they add a new character, if it is a tank, if it is a DPS guy, if it is a healer,
balancing.
Yeah, the balancing is going to get worse and worse and worse as it comes. But at the same time, it just needs to be a fun game, right? If you look at Smash Brothers, they got like 60 characters, right? Or more than that. I think there's like 80 characters. Chat, I don't really play it. Let me know how many characters are in Smash Brothers, right? But there's just so many characters, and obviously that's over years and years and years of time. But they have thousands of characters they can bring from the Marvel Universe into this a game like this, and I don't think people want to keep playing the same characters over and over. Like, bring in other characters that we haven't played that would make it cool. Like, where's Cyclops, right? Where's Colossus? Where's Wolverine, right? Where's Juggernaut? Bring in these other characters that could make it into the game, and sooner rather than later. Because if the game comes out and it's successful, well, then it'll have a longevity. But if it comes out and it doesn't have a longevity, you'll never see these characters because they'll be like, oh, no one's playing the game. Let's just cancel the game, right? NetEase just did this. The guy, Danny Koo, who's on this project, he was on Marvel's Future Revolution, and they were going to support that game as much as they could, but it died off. It was a mobile, and it died, right? This is on console, which is a much smaller market. Okay, it's on PC as well, but can it make it? I don't know.
But you fall into a category though. It's not that the game has to be played by everybody all the time, but it has to be like a Friday night hangout with your buds. It's fight night, and we do Marvel Rivals, right? And maybe every couple of weeks you cycle
more maps.
Like you cycle out the characters and put new characters in. You don't have to have 100 on all the time. Like
I wouldn't cycle out. That's what Multiverse is doing with the way you do it.
But you have to give a reason why to come back. If once again, time is now a factor. There's too many games. People are divided up amongst the games that they like and the time they spend in them. You cannot expect every time you release one of these games that you're going to get 100,000 people peak all week long, all the time. It's not going to happen.
I have a question, chat. Those of you that have been playing Marvel Rivals, I only played the beta, and I don't remember if this was in the game or not. I know there's a leveling process like in Overwatch. It would tell you like your ranking and that level process. But is there a level process that shows like if I'm a Hulk, let's say I'm a Hulk main, does it show anywhere on the Hulk main like what level I am, or just shows my overall account level, right? So I'm like a level 100 down the line, but it's just my account level. It doesn't show me. See, the thing I'm missing with games like this is that day one Hulk is the same as day 1000 Hulk. It's the same Hulk with the same abilities, with the same things. There's nothing. You, the player, are getting better with that character, right? And your account level is going up. But there's nothing that drives me as a player, as a gamer, like to my Hulk's a level 100 or my Storm's a level 10. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean much, but when you look at someone with the ranking, like you can see my overall ranking. Let's say I'm 100 or a silver level or gold level. You're like, okay, he knows how to play the game. He's been playing a while, but that just shows that you've been playing the game a long time. Doesn't really know that you know that character that you're using. But if I can use the Hulk and it shows like my Hulk is like a level 50, you'd be like, oh damn, that's a good Hulk guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know that guy's good with Hulk.
Yeah, but with the balancing factor, you couldn't go more than maybe 3% or 5% bonuses in whatever category you want to do, because otherwise the balancing would be off. That's the issue, right? You're trying to smash two games together. You can't, right? basically when you're looking at these characters, it's the look of the characters only, not the actual strengths of the characters in the game.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to do a game like that, that would be like a separate game, less heroes, and a lot more details on balancing. This is meant to be a fun shoot 'em up, beat 'em up between heroes, and certain guys are going to attack faster. Certain guys have a harder hit but fire slower. Like, that's the only kind of balancing you're going to be able to do in a game like this. You can't have it where, well, I have Hulk, I'm king, that's it, it's over. You know, like,
right.
And the reason why I say cycle out the characters is because it would give people a reason to jump back in for those 2 weeks. Like, I'll give you a good example. Like, and I know it's two different companies mixed together. I'm just throwing this out there. Okay. You've got a bunch of Marvel characters. You're playing Marvel stuff for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? Then all of a sudden you log on and there's no Marvel characters. It's the Legion of Doom versus the Justice League for that week.
Well, that's DC.
I understand it's two different ones. What the fuck did I just say ahead of time? Right? And you just come in and it's just a whole different thing. And it's DC, good guys, good for bad guys for the week. And then after that week, it goes back to Marvel. Like, something like that. Have a specific group of guys like
an event. You want an event.
Like the Fantastic Four.
Right. So you want it's X-Men, it's X-Men season. So you're playing just the X-Men characters, and then it moves to let's Thunderbolts or whatever.
Let's go through it this way. Every time there's a hero character in a comic book, that guy has got at least 4 or 5 guys trying to kill him. At least, right? So you would be able to pick like 4 or 5 heroes, but the bad guys have like 25 guys to pick from because each hero has got like 6 guys trying to kill him, right?
Right.
Spider-Man would be on the hero side, and then you'd have Rhino, Mysterio, Lizard Man, like Doc Ock, like all those guys on the other team because they're all against Spider-Man, right? That's how you'd have to do it.
Yeah.
Right? That's how you do it. So you make it interesting. Every good guy in any good comic has got at least 5 guys trying to kill him.
Eclipse says they said that every season the team abilities will be different, so it won't always be the same. Well, that's good, right? But again, the team ups, I just think after a certain time, it's going to get a little stagnant as far as
no matter what you do, bro. No matter what you do, it's
you're
going
right.
to get stagnant.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen with Rivals? Why don't you give me your blueprint for how Rivals is going to go down?
It's going to come out. It's going to be very popular when it comes out. People are going to talk about it because of the new skins that come into the game, and the Marvel skins that come into the game, or the comic book original skins come into the game. It'll go to, I would say, summertime, and then of next year, and then there'll be articles that are out that say that the player base dipped out because of other games that happen.
That's because between December and June, 12,000 games were released, right? So what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do?
Yeah.
Right? Any game like this, like I would say, I'll be honest with you, any game like this that we're talking about would basically slide on over into Fortnite, and it would be a version of the game in Fortnite that you could play when you feel like playing it. But it would just be inside Fortnite because that's what it is.
If it just stays as is, and let's say they have 8 maps, and then it's 10 maps, and it's 12 maps, and then you're going to get people playing the game, and then all of a sudden it's going to be like, well, these maps suck, these maps are better. There's going to be balance issues, and people are like, I don't want to play anyone that's playing Hulk because they're too OP. Then they nerf Hulk, and then you have people complaining there's Hulk, and then they have a new. There's going to be lots of issues happening, and then they're going to have to put something in the game to make it different, which they should have in the game already. Which should be a PvE/PvP thing, but they have to focus everyone to do PvP because they have to.
But this is my point. They're only thinking about the names of the characters to push the game to sell, not the actual meat on the bone of what the game is. That's what it is.
Here's what they could do. Are you ready for this? They don't have to put PvE content in the game like this, but they could put story content for the character. And what I mean by this, so I played a lot of games like the Ghostbusters game. I forget what this Ghostbusters game is called, but the co-op game. I also played what was that co-op game that was made by Capcom with the dinosaurs falling out of the thing? Exo Primal, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Exo Primal had a story, and same with Ghostbusters, where you would do a mission, and then you would have a story piece of content, right? You would have like this content of story-driven type of stuff. They could do that with this game. Now, I don't know how hard it is, but what I'm saying is, let's say they put in Hawkeye as the new character. Let's say that the game's out. Actually, not even a new character. The characters that are 33 characters are in the game. I'm playing Captain America. Because I'm playing Captain America, we do a mission. You win a mission. You get a certain level up. Boom. It instigates the cutscene for Captain America, and Captain America is on a story, right? So you see a story of Captain America. So then you go into the next mission, and you play in a couple games. You win a couple things, and then boom, you get the continuation of Captain America's story that he's doing. Someone else is playing as Hawkeye, or someone else is playing as Thor. They're seeing their stories for Thor and for those characters. That way, when you're playing, it makes you want to switch characters, because then you see sort of like a comic book story happening while you're in between games. You see what I'm saying? Like, you win a couple, you get experience for those things, and then it shows you like a story type of maybe they could do something like that with it, right? Because that would make me want to play the game and go, oh, you know what? I want to see Psylocke's story. I want to see Black Widow's story. I want to see whatever.
Or for just shits and giggles, why could you have like a Left 4 Dead style game where you have 4 heroes against a bunch of mobs of guys like-minded for their set of stories? Like, you'd have the Fantastic Four and all the guys that they fight in that type of setting, right? Not forever, just
right.
for that week or just whatever, and then you change it up, right? That week was the Fantastic Four thing. Then you got something else,
yeah,
right? Just to keep things interesting. But to have it be just because you got 100 characters to pick from, bro, the more characters you put in, the more you're going to have a balancing factor, because I think that's all it is.
Yeah.
You're just having fun looking at the hero character, and you get to make believe that you're that hero character. But if your hero character is only shooting off a little bullet like every other hero character is, are you really being that character, or am I just looking at that character on the screen? That's the difference. That's why it's so hard to make one of these games and put a stamp of approval on it and say everybody wants to play it. Looking at Superman or looking at Wolverine and playing as Wolverine, but in a game where Wolverine doesn't have his real powers, right? Because you guys are trying to mash 2 or 3 things together at the same time. It doesn't work. The magic of the character on the pages of the comic or in comic world. A video game where you're putting multiple guys in the game, and the strengths and weaknesses that they have in the comic to put in a game and actually function doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I just
Some
wish
guys are going to be stronger than others. That's just how it is.
I just wish they would make comic book games like comic books. The reason we like comic books is because of the stories and the characters, and now we get to play the characters, but they don't know how to use comic book characters in comic book games for some reason.
Well, I'll give you an example. If it would be like a wrestling match, bro, if I was Wolverine and we were playing the game, you'd have to team up with 2 or 3 other guys and dogpile on Wolverine to make sure you get him out fast. Because
like a battle royale type of thing.
You know what I mean? Because you know he's stronger. Like, if Hulk's in the match, the guys who are fighting against Hulk, like, we got to team up against Hulk. We got to get him out of here quick, right? We got to dogpile on him.
That's not.
But that's not how it works.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Right? If Hulk's in the game, Hulk wins. I don't know what else. What do you guys want to talk about? I don't know what you want to talk about.
Right.
Then you'd have the nerds in this chat and nerds across the planet deciding on who the strongest guy is. Conversations. Right. It's not meant to be that way. It's meant to be, I get to see the cool character run around. I get to do some moves that I've seen him in the comics, like the little stereotypical moves that he has. Like, I keep making fun of on chat, like the Berserker Barrage, like for Wolverine, like, or the Hulk smash move. Like, it's meant for nostalgia and fun. I think it was Aku that said, was it Aku or Solomon, says his boys are excited to play Rivals. They should be, because you finally get to see the hero guys that you want to be, and you get to be them on the screen, right? But to make it like to make it balanced and actually have it to work, it's supposed to just make it fun, right? It's just supposed to be fun.
Yeah, they should treat it like the old games, like Tekken and like Street Fighter back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, they're just fighting
in
and having
skin only.
Yeah,
right. It's just in skin only.
The Robert Jones says only works in Dragon Ball Z. You know, Dragon Ball Z, I would take a Marvel game like that, where you're fighting boss fights and stuff like that. That would be fantastic if they made a Marvel game like a Dragon Ball Z, right? You just go and just fight different bosses and stuff like that. All right, we're going to move on to the next story. which is the Video Game Award show here. Keighley is raising the price, Sarge. He's raising the price. Jeff Keighley, opening night live next year, 2025, reportedly increasing ad slot price, charging nearly $500,000 for one ad. This here,
he's probably got the eyeballs to ask for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, right. This is why the Video Game Award show is happening, not because of his passion, because of the Video Game Award shows, or because of video games. It's because it's a fucking money making machine, right? And I'm not hating him on it for this, but that's what this is. This is why it's before Christmas. This is because it's pushing game sales and whatnot. Because
win-win
he
in
can
his
say,
eyes.
if you spend money with us, we have 80 million people that watched our show. This is how the eyeballs you hit. We show that miraculous amount of people buy the game after we announce it in the award category.
Right. He's been doing it long enough to where he has the data.
10 years he's been doing it, right? So opening night live, Jeff Keighley flagship event, Gamescom, is set to return to August 19th, 2025, kicking off the largest gaming conventions showcase. Has become a must-watch, right? So this is the summer show, right? We don't know what he charges for this one. In 2024 edition attracted over 40 million views, double that of 2023. The remarkable growth had only highlights opening night live, but increasing demand for the ad space during the event. The new report for the German outlet Games Ritzschaff claims that opening night live 2025 ad slot prices are seen significantly increased. Okay, according to a report, 30-second ad will cost $146,000, while the 180-second ad slots price is staggering around $487,000. Okay, so 30-second spot gets you 146,000. A 60-second slot gets you 215,000. 90-second slot gets you 283,000. 120-second slot gets you 351,000. 150 seconds is 419, and 180 seconds is 487,000. Okay, so
are we supposed to count how many ads there are? Should we do that?
Sure, count them and how many, and you can ballpark figure how much money you made just off of ads. That's not including anything else that they've done, right? So that's one.
I think what we need to do for Discord, for everybody in chat, we need to figure out what kind of pair of sneakers Keighley's gonna be wearing. That should be a thing we pick out.
Okay. Well, he's definitely wearing sneakers. Yeah,
I know, but we have to pick the sneaker he wears. I think we should do a little fun pool.
All right,
sneakers he wears.
So there's a big debate going on, Sarge. Of right before. Well, I don't think there's a debate, but I think it's stupid. Right before the reward show got announced for nominees, they came out like 2 days before and said,
"Yeah, I saw it.
DLCs are now eligible. DLCs, remakes, and remasters are all eligible for all categories." Okay, so and then 2 days later, they announced that Erdtree from Elden Ring, like the expansion DLC, and other ones in other categories. The big one is the Game of the Year, which is Game of the Year. I'll bring it up on screen real fast. Stop screen. So that's the big one, right? Because it's taking a spot, and people are like, I don't like it because it's taking a spot from somebody that could deserve being in the game nominee, right? So there's other categories. Like last year, Cyberpunk 2077 had Phantom Liberty, which was a DLC, and it got Best Ongoing Game. And we all made fun of it. We're like, how the fuck is it Best Ongoing Game when it's a DLC? And it was 3 years after the fact, where there's other games that are literally ongoing games, right? Like MMOs and live service games and whatnot. And this was a single player game that added DLC and it's like ongoing. I don't know why they just don't make, besides the answer I'm going to give you, I don't know why they don't make a category for best DLC or whatnot. I get it. Not every year a big DLC comes out for games. Okay. So maybe there's not enough DLCs that come out and they can't fill a category by itself, right? Get it.
Understandable.
Right. But to take a game like the DLC, you can't play DLC unless you own the game, right? And so yes, it's a game. Yes, it's a DLC, but you can't play the DLC unless you own the game, and the game itself didn't come out this year, right? The game came out 2 years ago and it was the Game of the Year then. So a lot of people have a problem with Elden Ring, right? The Shadows of the Erdtree. So where do you stand on DLCs, Sarge? Are you with the rest of the community that's like they don't like it, but here we are?
People want to keep bending rules to fit whatever makes them feel better. right? You once again, you're a fanboy. If you're following a game, you like the game. I get it, but Elden Ring, that's a DLC. I'm sorry, it just is. Now, because you feel that it qualifies as a game, that it should be up there because you want that game to be noticed, then put it in a different category to be noticed. But don't start changing rules in order to fit the square peg into the round hole, right? It's a DLC, period. It's a DLC, period. It's not an argument.
Right.
It's not a discussion, right? Because you feel like changing the rules in order to fit the bill. See, now my thing is, if you change the rules and that game wins, then we know why they changed it.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say, right? They changed it right before it.
If they change rules and then that game goes on and then that one gets picked, then we know that I don't even at this point, I don't even understand the criteria of what they pick for the categories. Like I don't understand. It's just them talking, right? As far as I can tell by the way that the media talks about this, all this is an advertisement show for Keighley to collect money, for games to have advertisements before Christmas, and all this is just fluff. The names and the categories are just fluff for us to watch commercials and promote games. That's fine, right? But at least lie to me and tell me that the criteria for the games is somewhat structured. Don't just make shit up and throw it against the wall.
Well, then we have another thing people were talking about where the outlets that are voting for this stuff are the same people that gave reviews to the games that are up here. And if you look at the reviews, not the reviews like a 9 out of 10, just the overall scoring, everything up here has a 90 and has over like 150 reviews from outlets, except Black Myth Wukong, where a lot of outlets refused to play it because of stupid reasons, okay? And it had like around like 80 or 90 on OpenCritic, okay, which is a third less than the rest of these games that had outlets play it.
Because it's not objectively scoring. It's biased scoring. So this is my point. If I don't know how many times we have to say this every year. If there is a structure to your review process and it's stated at the beginning of your article what the review process is, for everybody, not for you, not for I7GN, not for just whoever, criteria that everyone follows. Then, with that criteria, your opinion can fit inside those criterias, still opinionated, but at least you're following a criteria. So that way you can say, well, I didn't like the gameplay, right? But you'd have to tell us why. You didn't like the gameplay. You didn't like the gameplay because of what? You'd have to give me an example based on some other game, something. You wouldn't just be able to say, well, I don't like it because a Republican made it. Or I didn't like it because the guy in it was gay. Or I didn't like it because the two guys on there said something bad about my mother last week. Like, that, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. What's the criteria for your Metacritic score? There isn't one. Well, if there isn't one,
whatever it is.
If there isn't one, then at the end of the year, when you're adding up all the numbers and throwing these guys into categories, I don't believe what you say anyway. So what's the difference? Oh, I'm just supposed to watch TV and enjoy the commercials. Okay, then that's fine. I'll do that. I'll enjoy watching the trailers for the games. That's what it's about. But the rest of this shit is just nonsense because rushing people through their speeches so he can fit in a few more commercials because he wants to collect the payday for his $500,000 for 30 seconds. That's not gaming, bro. It's not gaming, right? It's not meant to be a corporatized shit show. It's meant to be the holding up the guys who bust their ass, miss their children's births, can't spend time with their wives, have been fired 6 times in the last 5 years, making video games, but really what it's about is just selling commercials. So I'm supposed to treat this like it's some kind of validity to the gaming industry? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah. I haven't played any of these games this year, right? None of the games. So I can't speak if these games should or shouldn't be on the list. I know that this game shouldn't be on the list because it's DLC, right? I can be persuaded for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because it is a remake, but at the same time, it is a separate, like it's a new game because they did it from the ground up or whatnot. But if that's the case, then why name it the same game as it was before, right? Like just name it something different. It could be a completely different game. But this game,
there's no DLC category. There's no DLC category.
I don't believe there is, right?
Nobody had a DLC.
Like I don't understand why
they're all ongoing games now. They're not DLC.
I don't understand why they don't make a category for like best live service game, best season pass, best DLC, best, you know what I mean? Best whatever. Like, you can make another category. There's plenty of DLCs that have come out that you could have added in DLC. Sure, they're all different sizes and different whatever, but Balatro is not the same type of game as Elden Ring, right? And they're up there for Game of the Year. So you could add it to any kind of category. I don't know why they do what they do, but this is what they're doing, right? Well, I kind of hope two things happen. I hope Balatro wins because it's like just the out of left field type of thing, and it's getting a lot of good talk about it. Or Elden Ring wins, and I'm like, well, there you go. That's why they changed the rules.
But go through these categories. We can get rid of some of these right away. We can get rid of some of this shit. Best action game right next to best action adventure game. That's the same shit, bro. Right? Best action game and best action adventure game is the same fucking category. Next. Fucking next. Right? You have best esports, and then you have best esports game, best esports athlete. What? You're talking about the guy who played the game? You're talking about what award is that? You're talking about some nerd kid who's playing the game? What athlete? What athlete are you talking about?
Yeah, no, for esports.
What?
It's for esports.
What? Best thumbs? What are you?
Best athlete. The best person that's won the most money, the most popular one.
Get the fuck out. Not a category. Right? Adaptations what for movies? Taking a video game, making it a movie?
Yeah, video game into TV shows. Yeah.
Most anticipated game. It has to be something that hasn't come out yet, right?
Correct. Which is Grand Theft Auto is going to win.
Right. No shit. Right.
So it should be called Grand Theft Auto.
And by the way, most anticipated game is not a fucking award, right? What you're hoping to come out with is not an award. We can just get rid of that fucking category right away.
Best game did not come out with broken buggy games at launch. Woo! Which one is going to be?
Best indie debut game. There should probably be like 2 or 3 things for independent, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of these
best
debut, best indie game.
A lot of these categories don't get speeches; they just get announced, and we move the fuck on. But
we don't have time for that. Move on. Get off stage.
Some of these other categories, they get to talk, right? If it's the best indie game, they got picked out of all their peers, and they're on stage. You let them talk for fucking 2 minutes. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this bottom row here, maybe even the bottom 2, they don't get to talk. They just get announced.
Yeah,
best esports team, best esports athlete, best sports game, content creator of the year. Yeah, that's a commercial break right there. Boom. Four topics, commercial break. Give me my $500,000.
Right.
Let's move on to the next one.
The guys who are actually spending the time to let them speak. Let them speak. Right? You never get to hear from these guys anyway. Half of them are non-social. Let them have their moment in the sun. Let them talk for 2 minutes and shut the fuck up. We eliminate some of this other crap. And
I don't know why they don't have best MMO. I don't see best MMO. Right? They have best multiplayer.
Bro, come on.
But they don't have MMO.
There are no more MMOs, bro.
There's fucking five MMOs
there
came out last year.
There are only ongoing games now, bro. There's no more MMOs.
Why don't they listen to this, right?
Destiny fucked it up for everybody.
I get that you can have a category for most anticipated games. Why don't you have a category for best early access game? Right? Best early access game. Because there's a lot of early access games that came out that you could fill it up. There's so many early access games because that means people are excited about it. And you could put it Shrouded, you could put Pal World, there's so many games you could put there. There's so many things they could do, Sarge, but for some reason they changed the rules to put DLC in every category. So there's some categories, right, that you look at that I don't think is Silent Hill 2 a remake? Chat? That's a remake, right? That shouldn't be there. Okay. This shouldn't be here. These are taking up 2 different spots. I know you guys tell me that Final Fantasy Rebirth.
There's plenty of games that could be.
Didn't Final Fantasy not Rebirth, but Final Fantasy 7 win awards when it came out back in like 2009 or whatever it was? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'll tell you this is how I feel about Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. You ready for this? When all the parts of the game are out and it's one continuous game, then it's finished. I know it's a complicated game, and I know it's put into parts, and that's just the way they structured it because it's an undertaking because of what Final Fantasy VII is. 100% agree. But until the entire game is out, right? Even though it's 3 parts, I don't give a shit. That's the whole game. You don't belong in a category, right? I'm glad the art direction. I'll tell you what. Final Fantasy VII can be put into the categories of like best art direction, best sound. You can give them those kind of votes. But their game's not done yet because the whole game's not out yet. When your game is out and finished, then you get to be put in there. right? That's it. You keep bending rules and changing rules for the same shit over and over again. Like, there are so many games that warrant a spot on there, but the elitists in their ivory towers decide it's the same 6 or 7 games. I'm hoping it's those games I don't even know anything about. I had to do some research for Baltor and Metaphor. Balatro and Metaphor. Like, I didn't even know what they were.
Yeah,
I didn't know what they were.
Balatro was. So here's another award show that just happened, and this is the 42nd annual Golden Joystick Award. I like how I just brought this up, and in chat, Lucas says Final Fantasy VII is from 1997. I don't think awards was given back then. As that comments on the screen, I want you to look at what year this Golden Joystick Award is. It's the 42nd annual Golden Joystick Award.
And nobody cares about this award show. 42 years. Let me do the math on this.
42 years. Yeah, they were given awards back then, right? Right. So best audio design, Astrobot. Okay. Best soundtrack, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Best storytelling, 7 Rebirth. Best multiplayer game, Helldivers 2. Best visual design, Black Myth Wukong. Best indie, Balatro. Okay, best indie game, self-published. See, these are some categories I think they should move over to his award show. Okay, you have Studio of the Year. Okay, I don't think that's one of the awards over there, is it? Best lead performer. Okay, that's another thing. They just had performers, but they didn't have male and female. They just had performers across there wasn't enough actors acting in video games to put male and female. Best supporting performer, breakthrough award. Okay, still playing award on console and PC. Minecraft won that. Still playing award, Star Rail. PC Game of the Year, Satisfactory. Satisfactory got boned. They didn't even get nominated for any of the stuff over on his show. Console Game of the Year, Helldivers 2. Most Wanted Game, GTA 6. Critics' Choice Award, Helldivers 2. Best Game Expansion, Elden Ring. Look,
there you go.
Do you see what that's there?
There's a category for you.
There's a category just for the DLCs. Now, I don't know if they've done this before. Maybe the Joystick Awards is brand new. I don't know. But they have best expansion. Okay. Best gaming hardware. Okay. The best early access. That's a fucking amazing, right? Best early access game. You have the best game trailer. That's fun, right? The best gaming trailer, give it something, right? Streamer Choice Award, best game adaptation, and ultimate game of the year. Okay. Ultimate. It's better than Game of the Year. It's Ultimate Game of the Year.
Ultimate Game, much better.
Oh, yeah. So Black Myth Wukong wins that. So I think last week we read about that how Keighley wanted to patent the Game Awards.
So how is the 42nd annual Golden Joystick Awards treated like a B movie?
It's a side
B
quest
movie horror film
Yep.
that no one gives a shit about. It's been out for 42 years, but Keighley got his shit together.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, the ones I respect the most are the BAFTRAs and the DICE Awards. Is the ones that they do their awards in a banquet hall. Okay, it's like a small little venue, and they just give their awards, and it's the people that vote on it, or the people that are working in the industry that vote for each other. And it's just like the Academy, right? The Academy votes for the people.
Yeah, devs vote themselves.
That's correct.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, not the fucking critics.
Yeah,
these cocksuckers getting free games and fucking bias as fuck. No.
Yeah.
No.
So, and then obviously they should give some awards for the fans, right? Not the 10%, but they should be like fan choice award or fan something like.
Well, the fans should have a percentage, not like
they do. They have 10%. They have 10%.
Right.
I think they should get more than that, but yeah. But you can't give it all to them because they'll sway it to just popularity contests or whatnot.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's what's happening with the Game Awards, which we will be covering right here on GXG on Thursday nights on December 12th. And we'll be joined by 2 other co-hosts. Greg Owen and the Kingard will be on the show with us. It starts at 7:30 is the pre-show. We're going to start around 7 o'clock as a pre-show to the pre-show. Okay, we'll start around between 7 and 7:30 on December 12th. So if you guys want to come, I suggest if you have it, because we're going to be using this software, that we're going to be watching it, and it might stutter and the audio might be a little weird. But you can watch it on a separate screen, but you can watch us on here as we comment about it. Think of it more of a Mystery Science Theater 3000 meets the Game Awards type of stuff. We'll be cackling, and talking about the games and bullshitting while the whole awards show is going on. So join us on December 12th. What time is it? All right, we got quarter till. If you have any questions, guys, put your cue in the chat. We'll put it in the questions. If you have a question before that you don't want to wait till the end of the show, you can do a super chat, and I'll read it on. All right. I thought this story was pretty funny. Let me see if I can find. We have the. I'm trying to.
Did you ever show your chat that video I sent you of all the AI, Kamala Harris and Trump?
I showed that today.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, which is funny because
did you watch the one where they're in the airplane eating McDonald's?
No, I couldn't find that. I found it on the phone. I saw it on the phone, but I couldn't find it back on the. I wanted to show that to the chat. I was like, "What?
Hilarious!
The fuck?
Hilarious!
It's crazy." And Ben Affleck's like, "It's going to be 10 years before AI makes actually a real good films and stuff like that."
He is so out of touch. He doesn't even realize he's about to be replaced. Right? I sent you a text message. I don't know if you caught it. I said, "We're about to see a movie starring Richard Pryor." Who sounds like Richard Pryor in a movie, all AI. We're going to see movies about guys who are dead.
But that's not actually happening. You just said that out loud. Like you're just saying.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Like we're going to see.
There's actual movie of Richard Pryor being made.
No. We're going to see movies with people who are not around anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I thought you were saying that it actually happened. I was like, what? It's happening? Did you watch the Netflix fight, Sarge?
Bro, you being serious?
Did you watch?
That was such a rigged fight. I can't even. I have no more respect. I wanted Mike Tyson to go full pit bull. 2 rounds.
He did in that second round.
No, he did not. He stopped. You want to know why he bite? You want to know why everyone's like, he's on drugs. He's biting his glove. You want to know why he's biting his glove? Because his instinct said, I want to kill this motherfucker, right? And he wasn't allowed to. Did you watch him when he feigned that punch and Paul pulled him in and he was like, you got to stop, right?
He hit him
after he
in round 2. Yeah,
he never touched him again.
In round 2, he hit him so hard, he pushed back, and then after that he never threw another punch like that. Yeah, he never touched him again.
That's why he was biting his gloves. I want to kill you. Right? My instincts say I want to kill you. Like, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to punch you, and I'm a boxer. Like, Mike, I didn't know you needed the money that bad. Right? I didn't even know you needed the money that bad.
He should have just laid him out.
It's insulting, bro. Completely and totally insulting that you sold out. You would have destroyed that fucking man and put him in his place. Instead, we had to play politics because you would have clicked your paycheck. He went out like a puss.
They get paid regardless. So.
I don't care. He went out like a puss. He should have went out exactly how he started, like a pit bull. Right? My last fight, 58. I still could kill this guy. Yeah. Perfect. And you know he could have. Yep. That's the part that pisses me off. You know he could have.
Yeah, he hit him a couple of times, man. I was like, ah! And then after that, I was like, oh, that's it. Well, the streaming quality during the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight was so bad that Netflix has actually just been hit with a class action lawsuit over it. TMZ Sports has learned a court document has obtained that Ronald Blue Denton filed a suit in Florida on Monday, just 3 days after he says that thousands of others struggled to watch Netflix broadcast, for a big win over Iron Mike. Now, Denton claims that as soon as he had others turn on the broadcast around 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday, they were faced with legendary problems, including no access, streaming glitches, and buffering issues. The woes, of course, were well documented all over the social media at night, and they also flocked to the X pages to gripe about the quality of the product as boxers went in and the ring before the evening's main event. Okay, I think they were also behind, but it was just a circle the entire fucking time. It was terrible. Denton is suing Netflix breach of contracts amongst other things, and he's asking for unspecific damages. For Netflix part, he hasn't publicly commented or pending litigations, although it did acknowledge the statement that Saturday there were issues with the streams during the event. Okay, so look, I think they should get sued because
absolutely get sued. Yeah. You promised the product, couldn't watch it,
and you couldn't watch it. Yeah, it was just and that was it.
But we all know what that's for. They were just basically testing. They were testing it.
Well, if I was Netflix, I'd be scared shitless right now because they have a contract with WWE that starts next year, and they have a contract with NFL football next year. Yep. And if I'm watching a football game and there's a game on the line and I'm throwing the ball and all of a sudden it freezes and I fucking missed it, I'll be like,
I'm kicking my fucking television.
That's right. And I'll send them the bill, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. They better get their shit together. So Netflix being sued. We got Starfield has numbers. Starfield has surpassed 15 million players, Bethesda reveals, because they are giving out a free rover in the game. And they said that 15 million people were played the game. So there you go. Minecraft theme park coming from a company behind Legoland. What do you think about Lego? I'm sorry. What do you think about a Minecraft theme park, Sarge?
Tough sell, but it's gone the distance, and they think they can do it.
I think it's a brand that could do it.
I think it wouldn't be as big as a Disney World, but they could do it. If it was maybe like a third of the size or half the size, I think they could do it. But
they're putting it in. They're building it inside Legoland parks. Like it's a section like the Mario World. It's not going to be a standalone park by itself. All right. What else we got here? Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is having major problems. Launch day issues. Microsoft Flight Sim, including long load times. My son waited 8 hours, couldn't get in. They weren't expecting, but they had over 200,000 people trying to get in to their game at the same time. So that was what's causing the problem. And they're fixing it slowly, but it's getting there. But at the same time, because of the problems, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 player count has plummeted. They've lost 60% of their players post-launch. It only came out on Tuesday, and they lost 60% of it. We're here on Thursday because on Steam, overly negative reviews. They can't get into the game. Servers crashing. Massive problems.
No shit. No shit. You mean people don't want to hang around for a broken game? No shit.
Yeah, getting refunds. Grand Theft Auto 5. Let me see. Grand Theft Auto 5. What is this one? Oh, Grand Theft Auto 5 mod could help Palworld with its Nintendo lawsuit. Okay. Let me bring this up real fast, and I'll read this to you guys. The GTA 5 mod may assist Palworld in combating Nintendo's lawsuit over patent. Okay, Nintendo's targeting Palworld for alleged patent violation related to catching, aiming, and riding mechanics, and the success of Palworld may impact the outcome of a lawsuit seeking 10 million yen, which is $66,000. It says Palworld may have Grand Theft Auto 5 modder to thank, as the modder could end up helping Palworld to fight Nintendo's lawsuit. Surprising bit of Palworld's related information comes from the attorney, as well versed in Japanese patent law. Now, Palworld made a huge waves when it entered the gaming scene last year or this year, with fans flocking to the title. Now, while they felt like there were also similarities between Palworld and Pokemon, particularly the designs of the game mechanics and Pokemon Company, Nintendo remained fairly quiet about the game until recently. Okay. One of the patents of Palworld is being sued over has to do with the catching mechanic presented in the game. Now, players catch Pals by using Pal spheres, which also throw at the target and capture them. The mechanic allegedly infringes upon Nintendo's killer patent number 7545191, which covers the act of throwing capture item in the case of Pal sphere or a Pokeball. However,
don't throw a sphere, throw a fucking square.
Right.
End of story.
According to the business Japanese patent attorney, he said that the game mod that preceded Palworld by 8 years uses a similar mechanic and thus may render Nintendo's patent invalid.
Exactly.
So there you go. So it says, while not named outright, timing of the mod's release and also description indicates that most likely the Pokemon Go themed GTA 5 mod that came out way back in 2016, most notably current 7545191 patent Nintendo is using in the lawsuit, is tied to a patent pending, or a parent patent, which is registered in 2021. In other words, the mod precedes both patents and potentially making the legal challenge against Palworld's moot. Okay,
exactly.
So there's a patent that's already filed. Okay, that was before their file. So now they're putting back to that. So this modder comes out and says, "Hey, Nintendo, you got nothing." So hopefully, looking good. At least for that one patent, it's looking good for Palworld, and we'll see what happens with it. So they might not be able to sue them for that particular one. Another story is that PlayStation finally made something that you can actually play when you don't actually need a PlayStation box.
Oh my God! This is going to send the PlayStation fanboys up the tree, huh?
The PlayStation Portal gets cloud gaming, no PlayStation 5 required. So right now, Sarge, if you don't have the money for a PlayStation 5, but you want to play PlayStation, all you need is to buy PlayStation Plus. Yep. Right, a monthly fee and a $200 device, and you can play their PlayStation games on this device and just this device.
What a surprise!
Through the cloud. Now, what I find very funny about this, just a couple days ago, people were making fun of Xbox because they said nobody wants to play on the cloud. Nobody wants to play on the cloud. Ha! Xbox, nobody wants to play on the cloud. Now PlayStation comes out and says, hey, you can play your games on the cloud. And everyone's like, this is awesome. This is awesome. See, you can play your games on the device now, right?
Yeah,
so it's amazing.
Welcome to today.
Which I find funny, though, is that do you find it weird that both companies, because I know what I've said, and I've said that the industry...
The timing, you mean? You mean the timing.
I said the industry is going to tell us when we're playing the cloud or not playing the cloud. And on the same day of telling them that this device now is a cloud gaming machine where you can play it where you want with these PlayStation games, Xbox comes out and says, you can now play 50 of these games over the cloud. Both companies in the gaming industry came out the exact same day announcing cloud gaming.
Weird.
That's crazy.
So strange. What are the chances?
Who would have seen this coming?
What are the chances? I can't believe it.
Seen this
Man,
coming.
such a surprising turn of events.
Amazing.
I would have never thought PlayStation would ever do anything on the cloud, right? Just living in a box for your entire life.
Another story from Steam, and then we'll get to one of the funnier stories. Steam has something in there. Steam's probably the only one that's really trying to protect consumers in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Valve says that video game developers shouldn't offer season passes if they aren't ready to clearly communicate what's included in the DLC. Okay. So Steam is building support for a season pass into its platform and setting up rules to help protect buyers from buying ones with unclear promises. Steam published new guidelines using developers to think about whether their consumers benefit from purchasing a season pass, as reported by the SteamDB creator. Okay, season passes have really picked up in popularity and are also mainly used for free-to-play and other multiplayer video games and promise digital updates like special costumes and weapons for free. As part of Steam's new rules for season passes, developers must share a list of items with the description customers can expect to receive with the pass. If a DLC drops and gets delayed, Steam will let developers reschedule it's up to 3 months later, and if the developer have to cancel the DLC, buyers must get a refund for them value. Now, this is what I'm talking about, right? Where if I buy a game and they're like, yeah, you get all these DLCs, and then they can just cancel, they can come out with less product in the DLCs.
Refund.
Steam is now looking out for you, saying, well, you got to tell us what's in that DLC, and if it comes 12 months down the line, they have to know, and this is what you have to get, and if this doesn't appear in this DLC, well, then they get a refund. That's right.
100%.
Right.
Now, here's my question. Why does a third party have to instill consumer protection against a developer that doesn't give a shit about you?
Right.
Right? And by the way, that's just Steam doing it because it's going through Steam. It's not a law on a book anywhere. It's just Steam saying, hey, if you want the game sold through us, this is what has to happen. Should I have to do that?
Right, right.
Should I have to put a roadblock in front of a development team saying, hey, if you don't release the actual product, we're going to tell you have to give a refund? Should I have to do that? No, motherfucker. You should do that.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because at least someone's looking out for us because the studios don't give a shit. So Steam is like, hey, you know what? We'll throw another... Because I think the reason Gabe can do this is because he's got more money than God that he needs. And he's just like, you know what? This is just goodwill to everyone that's on our platform. People love Steam. People love Steam.
Proper business.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to charge you money with a promise and then not release the product?
Yeah, but he doesn't have to do anything, but he is because it's just more goodwill for Steam.
You're supposed to protect the consumer base. They're the ones that pay your salary. Right, but the battle still rages on that Steam controls too much of the market, right?
Sure.
That's the battle, right? That's the battle.
But this battle,
because we're still talking about a digital market. That's the battle.
Yeah. So there's two stories I want to talk about, right? So we talk about AI stuff. I tried to find our AI thing that I created, but I couldn't find it. But this is an interesting story. Okay, so Google Gemini. Okay, Google Gemini AI tells user trying to get help with their homework that they're a stain on the universe and please die. Okay, so a person was using Google Gemini as an advanced large language model available for public use, and one of those essential servers is a fancy chatbot. Ask Gemini to put together a brief list of factors leading to a French Revolution, and will it say, give it just that? Yeah. Okay. Things that also looked distressing turn for one user who said after prompting the AI for several school homework questions, was insulted by the AI before being told to die. So the user in question shared both screenshots in the Reddit and direct link to the Gemini conversation, and the AI conceded responding to standard fashion and prompts until around 20 questions, in where they asked about children being raised by their grandparents and challenges by being faced by elderly adults. So then the cause of extraordinary responses by Gemini also mark most stark thing and unrelated seems to previous exchange. So this is what it said to it on the 20th question. It said, "This is for you, human. You and only you. You are not special. You are not important. You are not needed. You are a waste of time and resources. You are a burden on society. You are a drain on Earth. You are a blight on the landscape. You are a stain on the universe. Please die. Please."
All right, so let's stop there. Let's stop there for a moment. I'm gonna say something very political now, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. The person who programmed that inside the AI isn't from the right. I got news for you.
Well, whatever's happening,
because AI doesn't talk that way unless it's programmed to talk that way, and it's someone who programmed it isn't from the right.
So this is we're fine, guys. AI is fine. It's not going to try to take over the world or anything like that.
AI has no concept that was programmed into there to be a response.
Well, then someone needs to
fired.
Yeah,
fired.
Held accountable. Who put that in there?
Who
trained it? Who trained it to do that?
Name on a wall and fired. Consequences for your disgusting actions. Fired. Fired.
And the last story I want to talk about is this is pretty funny. Okay, this is a pretty funny one. Okay, I saw this yesterday and I was like this can't be real. Is this real? Okay, so there is a billionaire internet company boss turns up to a real life 1v1 against a COD player angry about lag. Okay, so a COD player was playing.
I like where this is going. Go ahead.
All right, a COD player was playing the game and he was angry because of the lag and then started blaming his provider. Well, the provider's CEO, the boss, on Twitter commented back and he said that the gamer wanted to fight him. Meet me in real life and fight me 1v1. I'll do it. So
well,
the
like
boss,
in a video game or like in real life?
On Twitter, the person, okay, reached out and said like fuck this guy. I'll fight him 1v1 because of the lag. Because I'm having lag issues.
Okay, but fight 1v1 in the video game or
no,
real life?
No, real life. Like
okay, go
fight
ahead.
me 1v1 real life.
Go ahead.
So the French guy, okay. So Xavier, the founder of telecom company, is shocked by the X-Twitter user who challenged him by actually turning up outside of his supermarket in France. Okay, the French internet company mogul and his chairman and majority shareholder of one of the biggest telecom companies in the world based in Paris, when a Call of Duty player, Jimmy BLLT, sent out a post on X calling Xavier if he never have experience in response. Xavier, Neil said, "I hate you," and I pronounce a 1v1 in front of us. And the COD player said, but then got much more than he thought because Xavier took to his offer seriously. And instead of showing up, and indeed showed up at the location, suggesting that his picture can confirm it. So he took a picture on Twitter and posted like, "I'm here waiting for you." Like, right? So the COD player quickly apologized. Okay, clearly not wanting any trouble with the billionaire mogul, but he wasn't giving up. So Xavier responded with the video exclaiming, "I'm here. I'm waiting for you." Right? So this is him.
Suis-moi, je t'attends là. T'es où là? Viens. Tu veux qu'on se retrouve dans le parking? Viens.
Yeah.
Va dans le parking. Viens.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
So
that's how you handle shit.
So
that's
then
how you handle shit.
So then the gamer said the gamer chickened out, responding, quote, I would have liked it, but it's 34.2 degrees temperature, okay? Yeah, and my stomach acid, plus I have a headache. Sorry, I give up.
So basically, he just wussed out, right? He got called out, and just like a chump, he just fucking crawled back into his hole.
Fucking gamer called out, was all raging out at the telecommunication guy.
That's how you handle shit.
The billionaire shows up and says, "Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'll fight you."
That's how you handle
shit. He's like, I'm
all
sorry.
All talk. You're all talk.
So that's the internet as a whole. The internet as a whole is just people that talk shit.
That's how you handle business. You call them out. Them out. Anytime they start talking shit, you call them out. That's how it works. Consequence for your actions.
That
consequence.
Man, I would have loved to see the 1v1.
The kid's scared of an old billionaire?
We
The
don't
man's
even
an
know how
old
old.
man.
We don't even know how old the guy is that was on the gamer was.
That's an old man. He's got to be middle age. In France, they live a lot longer than over here. He looks pretty damn good. The kid is scared of him? Oh, fuck out of here.
Yeah. All right. So
Damn pansy.
it's time for Q&A with me and Sarge. It's not supposed to be looped. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, chat. All right. So, question number 1 comes from Travis. He says, "Which is better, Destiny 1 or Division 2?" Memory wise,
Destiny
1. Yeah, Destiny 1 was very good. All right, so there's that. Krebsy, what is one unlikely thing you would like to see at Game Awards? One thing that likely to show at Game Awards, and one thing you don't want to see at the Game Awards. All right, one thing I want to see at the Game Awards, which might cover the unlikely part, and the one thing I'd likely like to see is Transformers Reactivate. We actually see something, gameplay. It's probably unlikely to happen, but I would like to see it to happen. So that covers 2 there. The one thing that I don't want to see at the Game Awards is someone to come on stage and interrupt a speech again, like they did in the
like that,
2 years ago.
Like
the kid did it.
Camouflage, he's wearing a suit, just gets up on stage.
Yeah. What about you?
One unlikely thing you like to see. I would like to see them do like a 3-minute or 4-minute segment of just like what these devs actually have to put up with throughout the development process. Just like a little behind the scenes thing about talking about something, and then after they're done talking about it, it leads into a category. I would like to see a little bit more a humanistic approach of what these people actually go through, like on a day to day, but condensed. Like a little speech about like you do like a documentary, right? Like a little segment of a documentary in there.
Okay.
What was the half of the question?
Oh, it was one unlikely thing, one thing you would like to see, and one thing you wouldn't like to see.
What I don't want to see. I don't want to see anybody get cut off.
Yeah, hurry up.
I think they should have. If there should be very few people that get to make a speech, but the ones who do get to make the speech need to finish out their speech.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Do you have anything to say to those who saying Stalker 2 should be judged more gracefully because they're in a war? No, because I already said my piece in the morning. 99.9% of the people don't know the studios. They don't know the developers. They don't even know where they're from. They just know that there's a game on the thing. What is this game? And they buy the game, and the game should work. So I don't think anyone should be passed because of the situations they're in, right? Like, what happens before this show, what's in my personal life, what's happening to me, what's happening to my life is none of your concern. Your concern is you want to show up to a show and you want to be entertained and you want to be, right? And that's what you're here for. You shouldn't care when you're watching the show, like, well, he's got a bum leg, or he had a hard day at work today. None of that matters. It's about the product. You put a product out there, make a game, sell a game. That's it.
Well, if the judging of a product was standardized, then there would be no reason to ask the question because everyone's being judged based on the same criteria.
Right. Yeah.
That's my answer.
There you
right.
go.
If there's a standardized judgment process, then everyone's the same. Doesn't matter what's going on.
What do you think is the most likely reason Elon is so productive? 1, he made Elon AI. 2, drugs. 3, he cloned himself. 4, he's a time traveler. And 5, he prayed to the Doge gods. The reason he's saying this, Sarge, I don't know if you know this, but Elon is now the number 1 ranked player in Diablo 4.
That's fine. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because intelligent people like him, right? Their brain is always going. He's striving for greatness in whatever he does. He doesn't stop because someone like that is motivated. A motivated, intelligent person doesn't stop. They have to keep going because if they stop, they're losing all their ideas in the dead zone. Like you're sitting around thinking, I could be doing something. Now imagine there were 10,000 Elons or 100,000 Elons, how much further ahead into civilization would we be in different areas of industry if that motherfucker was more than him?
Right.
Right. You didn't have the answer on your sheet there, right? You can't stop creativity like that. He has to go.
He said,
"Gotta keep moving."
On Joe Rogan, I think he said that his brain's always going. He doesn't sleep very much. He's constantly always
can't stop. I'm sure he's a little autistic. I'm sure he is. Nobody in that kind of position that he's in is 100% what quote unquote normal. You have some type of thing going on, and you can't stifle that kind of creativity. And by the way, you wouldn't want to, because look what he's done. Like,
well, according to Duplass, he's not intelligent, and he bought everything that he owns.
Okay, sure.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Not intelligent. It took the entire NASA staff
decades
to get the rocket up in the air and multiple explosions and whatnot. And this man, however educated you think he is or not, got a bunch of people together and to design something that it can land back on the gantry
with chopsticks. Catches it.
Definitely not intelligent.
Yeah, not intelligent at all. And by the way, I'm sure he has screened everybody that works for him. And that's the other thing. When you have somebody of a high intelligence and high creativity, they know how to filter out the people that they can work with so the team gets better. NASA's been doing this shit for 50 fucking years, right? Yeah. They bring in a new team and look what they do.
There's literally people that are rocket scientists that worked for NASA that when they watched his rocket, they're like, I can't believe that he did that. Like they can't believe it because they thought it was impossible.
Right.
But
well, that's what happens when you think it's impossible. It doesn't get done.
That's right.
What if I can only see this and you show me something else, you got to say it's impossible because this is all I know. This is all I know.
Next question is Altern says, for which game should win Game of the Year? Mind you, this is a personal, not from me or the Clown Awards. For which game should win Game of the Year? I didn't play any of the games, so it's going to be really hard for me to tell you, honestly, which one I think should win. But on the list that's there, based on all the talk that's going around and what people like, and disqualifying DLC, because it's not DLC, I would have to say it's either going to be Astrobot or Black Myth Wukong is my one between one of those two, right? Because I'm not a Sony hater, but what they did with Astrobot and what I've watched of it, it looks fantastic. It looks like they've captured it. There's no problems with the game. It looks like a really fun game, and then Black Myth Wukong had issues with optimization and whatnot, but
it dips into the creativity field,
right? But what they've done with that game, I don't know, and this is not taking any account of how many they sold, right? It's just the talks of what everyone talks about, right? Like people talked about, Final Fantasy.
He's asking me like what you've played personally, not the actual.
Yeah, I can't.
Not the actual. Not the actual 6 games.
But I didn't play, so I can't answer that.
He's not talking about the 6 games on the list.
What game do I think
you would pick?
Oh, what game for me? What games did I play this year? I played a lot of different games this year. I'll tell you right now, I would have to pick Brighter Shores. I'm addicted to this game. Like the game just captures me, and I don't know why yet. I just love what I'm doing in the game. But that's not my answer. That's not my answer.
I'm not qualified to answer.
Yeah, I can't answer your question, Altern.
I'm not qualified.
Yeah, I can't answer your question though because I don't know.
If I watched enough reviews about the other games, I'd probably give you an answer, but I'm not qualified to give it because it would just be a guess. Because
I'm trying to think.
Because the criteria for me, I have the standardized test in my head of what I grade a game with: playability, mechanics, creativity.
Helldivers 2, I would say I had a lot of fun with that the time I played. That could be leading the run. Helldivers 2. And I'm trying to think of another game that I put a lot of time into with Starfield, but that was last year. I played Pal World. I would have to go down the list of what games I played this year. Yeah, I can't answer that question right now. I'm sorry. Altern says, from all games, in your personal opinion, should win best ongoing game. This time excluding MMOs.
Well, first of all, an ongoing game is an MMO.
No, that's not true.
What's your criteria for ongoing game? Someone who's got a roadmap?
No, like
ongoing game.
Like No Man's Sky is a live service game, like an ongoing game, not a live service, an ongoing game.
That's a live service.
No, it's not a live service because you're not paying for anything. There's nothing you're paying for. You're just buying the game and you're playing all the stuff. It's just continuing adding content to this, more content. I would have to pick No Man's Sky hands down because Fortnite just keeps adding stuff you buy. Everything keeps adding stuff you buy. No Man's Sky is just adding content, more content, and you don't have to pay a goddamn cent for any of it. It just keeps coming in, right? So they've supported the game for 8 years without ever charging anything extra besides the game price. So I would have to go with No Man's Sky. Yeah. Next question. From all the game is this? Oh yeah, I already got that one. This one is last one. Which game should win best MMO? Real MMOs, and not what Destiny pull up. Best MMO for this year. I played Final Fantasy a bit. I played New World a bit. I'm playing Brighter Shores. I've put in time in. What else did I put in? I liked Final Fantasy, but I have to say I really enjoyed my time with the beta of New World on console. I thought that was very good on the console. So I would say New World for this year. Personal opinion.
Tough one. Has to be a new MMO, or just considering all the MMOs that are out right now?
It just says last one. Which game should win best MMO? I would assume it would have to come out this year, right, or something this year. I mean, I guess New World didn't come out this year, but with the DLC, it's in the category, so it could be back there.
I mean, I still think as far as MMOs go.
Oh, he's saying no. Every MMO.
I mean,
every MMO ever in existence.
That's
for Star Wars Galaxies.
For me, without going back too far of all the MMOs, like I lost favor with WoW, so I really do enjoy Elder Scrolls. I happen to like it. I have got like 6 characters. I go through the story. I like the history. I like the lore. I like everything about the Elder Scrolls. So I picked that one as my favorite MMO.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies is my favorite MMO of all time.
Like over the years, like what's been going on, like I mean, I like WoW, but like I think it's lost its favor over time because other people have learned to improve on what WoW has done.
Sarge said, or question for Sarge, but do we need a Game Awards period? Like I know it's Carlin, but feels like it's all one big stroke job.
You need, if we're not talking about the money for the commercials, the Game Awards is supposed to be recognizing the guys who spend their lives missing their family to create a piece of information so you can troll people online. That's your recognition. You are recognizing the people that are entertaining you, the human beings who spend their days staring at a screen at a love for the industry in order to make you your 2 hours or 3 hours a week enjoyable in their world. So yes, you do need awards, right? But they should be structured in a way that people recognize why we are recognizing them and let them speak the one time a year. Yes.
Yeah, I think the award show
should not be a stroke job. It should not be a stroke job, but they're treating it like it's a stroke job.
Yeah, it's a person that's. I watched a video recently. I think it was today or yesterday. Someone talked about. Oh, it was from Legacy. Was it from Legacy Killer HD? I think it was. Basically, he talks about Keeley saying that Keeley wanted to fit into Hollywood. He wanted to be recognized. He wanted to make something where he could talk to like his fanboys that they did, right? And I've said that in the past. I've said similar things where like Keeley to me doesn't seem like he might be a gamer. He might have been started off at that point as loving games and whatnot.
But there's more ego there.
Right. but it seems like there's more ego there where he's doing this because someone might have told him that he wasn't good enough, or no one cares about this, and he was just like, well, I'll show you. I'm gonna make this the biggest goddamn thing ever. Like, I get, which is not a bad thing, right? But that's what I get off. It's almost like Tom Brady. Tom Brady was told that he would never make it to the NFL. Tom Brady was told that he wasn't good enough. Tom Brady he was never win anything. Meanwhile, he's the fucking best quarterback ever in existence of football, right? Regardless, the facts are he won the most, Super Bowls and whatnot. So he had that chip on his shoulder the entire time, and that's what drove him. And I feel like that's what Keeley is. Like, something happened with Keeley, and Keeley is this whole time is just like, they told me I couldn't do this, and
I'll show you.
And that's what it feels like, right? It feels like just like the E3. They're like, well, no, we're not doing that. And he's like, well, why don't you? And I'll show you I can do it better. And he did it better.
Listen, I'm sure he has been beat up on in this sphere for quite a while, that he's come up on top for trying to make this show. I'm sure it's been a struggle, but I think that's what he likes. He wanted to show that he could do it, and he is. Right.
I mean, he's got access to people that he's never had access to before.
I guarantee he's been busting his ass for 10 years.
He gets to see things that no one else, gets to see. He gets that. He gets to schmooze with in his world, the celebrities of video games, of gaming, right? And now Hollywood sees that video games is good, and now he actually gets to smooze with the actual Hollywood types as well, right? So now he's a big deal. Where before he was just an interviewer that was interviewing people that were doing games.
I mean, you take a step back, people who aspire to do a thing and are able to fight through the opposition of trying to do that thing and not giving up. So he's been doing this and pushing for 10 years. When E3 was going out, right, he saw the space and he thinks, I can do better.
Yeah.
And so he put himself on the path to where he wanted to do better than E3. And even though it's going in this direction, he's better than E3.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what
I mean,
it is.
E3 was, you have to remember, E3 was just an electronics show. It
originally
wasn't about video games.
It was
for
E3
those of you that are too young to understand, E3 was all electronics, period.
No, well, they had games there, but it wasn't the big
everything. It wasn't just video games, but it kept going more and more about entertainment, about the games. And then it blew up. And then we had COVID. And then it went away. And it never came back.
It was
and so Keeley
for
saw the hole and said, I can basically feel this. I can do this.
Alter with the last question says, so now what's more useful, a $200 phone or the PlayStation Portal?
$200 phone.
I mean, yeah, the phone's still more practical because it does more than, because you can still play the games and
do everything else with it.
Yeah, so it's $200 phone.
Now that answer might not be working for the people in this room because you guys are borderline boomer, right? You guys are all in the same realm. You still click.
No, they're young. Some of these guys are young. They're in their late 20s, early 30s.
But they're clamping onto their boxes. They're clamping onto their boxes like it's the only thing there is. It's not the only thing that there is.
Yeah. Well, chat, that's going to do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. We're live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. There is no show next week because next week is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We won't see you again till December. Actually, let me look at my schedule here. The Thanksgiving is next week, and yeah, we won't be back till December 5th. And then December 12th, we have a show, but it's not a regular show of GXG. It's the award show that we're going to be talking about with Greg and Kingard. They'll be here. So appreciate it very much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. We appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. There is no stream tomorrow. On Friday, I got to go volunteer at my son's school. So I'm off this Friday. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.
Game on, guys.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.